Good evening to all those Orlando people that have tuned in for my live part 3, the exciting stuff. Now, this video was put online by WFTV, Channel 9 News, and they removed it. And then they chopped it all up and put it back online, and an hour 15 long video has now been put back online in 31 minutes. So this is probably the one which, when they read out their disclaimer at the start, they said they redacted everyone's names and they didn't want to name people that hadn't been charged, if they were guilty or connected to what happened with Goliath Ventures. And it's kind of like a contradiction along the way. Now, some announcements that I'd like to talk about before we get started is ChatGPT seems to be offline for me. I don't know about you, but the whole world's gone ground to a halt, especially me. But at the moment, for some reason, it says upstream cannot, connection error, disconnect, reconnect before headers, retire the latest, reset reason, connection timed out. That's the error I'm getting from ChatGPT. And I do rely on ChatGPT for do a lot of my investigations. I don't ever hide the fact. Another interesting thing, that some developments that happened overnight, I've been chatting to one individual which we've actually called a co-conspirator, and we've had quite a lengthy chit-chat session back and forth. They have their ideas and their philosophies, but we keep asking for receipts for what they're claiming. Anyway, long story short, one message I got that sort of triggered me a wee bit was they said that if I did an attack on any company, that company would crumble. And then I thought about it and I thought, well, that's not really a fair statement, because for a start, we started investigating Goliath Ventures on the 1st of September. We received one of their contracts. We did our own investigation, and then we published our first findings in September 2025. People were receiving their dividends. Everything was business as normal at Goliath Ventures. And unfortunately, we have got quite a few contracts from individuals that invested after we started whistleblowing Goliath Ventures. So it would be fair to say, and modestly to say, that we did actually break this investigation. We didn't wait for court documents, or we didn't wait for a court case, we didn't wait for a federal case to be launched and then read the court findings and break the news on the headlines. Now, if you think I'm knocking Channel 9 News, well, I am, because we are true investigators. We put our neck on the lines. My Avengers researched. We used logic. We used a little bit of AI, and we broke down that contract that many people signed. We even found out that that contract was written by Eric Clayman, a defense attorney writing contract law. How ridiculous is that? And then we also found out that he was also an investor of Goliath Ventures. Conflict of interest comes to mind. So there was lots of things that we unraveled since September the 1st. But one thing I'm really proud of, and no one's going to even take it away from me, is my team of Avengers and myself. We exposed Goliath Ventures. We brought this to the surface, and then the shit hit the fan. And now we've got a lot of other news agencies who literally, I do believe, are going after clicks and ratings and putting content on the internet that they shouldn't, especially if they claim to be professional bodies. They even had the audacity to knock my type of journalism. I'm pretty transparent. Most people that's been subscribed to my YouTube channel along the way know that I put everything on the table when we're doing our investigation. And we rely a lot on people that support us, not just financially, because we don't get paid a yearly salary of 100 plus grand a year to do what I do. Actually, I rely on $5 donations. And it's been a hard road, especially when my very first court case, unrelated to Goliath Ventures, actually cost me $33,600 to defend myself. And we won, and we got the courts ordered them to pay $25,600 in our legal expenses, but they never did pay. So I'm now paying that off at $15 a week. That was my first lawsuit for I've forgotten now, 3.8 million. Yeah, that's what they were suing us for, because I wrote the truth about a scam that fell over. And the first thing they do, rather than answering my right of reply questions, is they file a lawsuit claiming defamation. That's just another day in the office for Danny De Heck and the Avengers. Even just a couple of weeks ago, I won a high court case after an individual decided to go to the district court and complain about something that they were doing wrong. So then I won that case, and then they disputed the district court's decision and took it to the New Zealand High Court. I didn't actually think it went in my favour, to be honest, but it did. Flying colours. The judge said the article can remain. So behind the scenes, we spend a lot of time doing a lot of investigations. A lot of people provide me information which are the unsung heroes. Now, one individual at the moment, which I'm really proud of, has just sent me some really exciting news. We know that there's another investor that's just had a lengthy interview with Darlene Jones. So in the not too distant future, maybe in a few days, just at the appropriate time when the clicks are high, there's going to be another video come out about Goliath Ventures and a victim. And she's doing this apparently to help victims. But apparently I've got more victims than most people have on their desk. And none of the victims have actually said to me, I'm so glad that Darlene Jones actually interviewed Chris and got him to put him in front of none, not one, not even half of one, not even quarter of one, not even a teaspoonful of a victim has come to me thinking that was a good idea. So why did she do it? Why did they put all this information on here? Why did they give a camera to a fraudster? You know, I've been calling Christopher a scammer, a fraudster, a lowlife, a bottom feeder since the 1st of September. They can't do that because they might get done for defamation. But now he's pleaded guilty. He has pleaded guilty. What I want to do is I want to write the reply to the individual I sent, who accused me of doing this, basically an attack against Goliath Ventures. Now remember, this is a co-conspirator who I've been corresponding with, and all of a sudden they decided to say that if I attacked any company, they would fall over, which is a load of rubbish. And also bear in mind, like I just said, that these people were still operating the business as normal when we started whistleblowing this company for running a scam. It was my team of Avengers, myself, and it's that blew the whistle and told everyone that Goliath Ventures is running a scam. There were people that had been researching it earlier on. They actually become part of my team of Avengers, and they shared their intel. One of my Avengers went on and on and on about My Liquidity Partners. He said it's a mirror image of like my liquidity partners. And I didn't know anything about My Liquidity Partners, so I didn't really focus on it. Then we started seeing photos of Christopher and Nick with the people that were running these crypto Ponzi schemes. And then I started thinking, I better have a closer look at My Liquidity Partners. And I still remember sending the file to Homeland Security and saying, this is the game changer. My Liquidity Partners, NLP, is identical to what Chris is doing. And then we gave them all the connections to My Liquidity Partners and Christopher and Nick. So, you know, we have been on this every step along the way. I've been in newsrooms. I've shown them 3 civil court cases. They weren't interested in doing a story on it because they didn't have a federal case. 2 days later, there was a federal case launched, and then they started reporting on it. And it was BBC News, not Channel 9 and not Fox 35. Fox 35 interviewed me for over an hour, and nice guy. And the reporter that I did sit with, his name was Greg Fox, which I thought was quite funny because I just stepped out of Fox 35 studios and his last name was Fox, and that's how I remember it, being dyslexic. Anyway, I want to read this reply and just make sure I'm not going to expose the person I've been chatting to. Yeah, so let's have a listen to this, see if I get it right.
I don't think that's a fair assessment. I started investigating Goliath while it was still operating. At that point, people were still investing and withdrawals were still being made. My reporting didn't create the underlying problem. It raised questions that I believed investors deserved answers to, and I stand by that. If banks or regulators later took action, they did so based on the information available to them and their own assessments, not because I simply made videos. The unfortunate reality is that Christopher Delgado has now pleaded guilty. That tells us the underlying fraud existed regardless of who first started asking questions. If my reporting caused anyone to stop investing or encouraged authorities to look more closely, then perhaps it prevented even more people from losing money.
Yeah. And that's what sort of why I wanted to bring that up, because we unfortunately got people who reached out to us and said we invested, after September. And it was like, that was the most gutting thing for my team of Avengers. And we thought, oh my goodness, how are we going to, create more awareness? I went to a conference and there was a lady who was a university lecturer who specialised in online fraud and scams. And she was raving. People were asking questions, asking her, how can we stop these people running these investment opportunities online? And she said, you can't. And then as she said she can't, she pointed straight at me in the audience. There was 150 other like-minded individuals who were there. We're talking the Cambodia chief of police, the Filipino cyber squad commander, FBI, C5, was it C5, which is a special group of people from the United States. Basically, it was in Sydney, Australia, but it was just everybody I ever wanted to meet in the legal profession, in the law profession, people that deep cover agents, special agents. It was amazing. And she just pointed at me and I'm going, I'm just a friggin' YouTuber. What are you pointing at me for? And she said, the only way to stop or slow these people is by causing disruption. And that really sunk in for me. And that's why we do these videos. That's why, even though Christopher said that my videos only get 30 views, because to him, it's all about numbers and all about prestige and all about clout. I don't drive a Lamborghini. I don't live in an $8 million house. I don't have friends like Kash Patel shaking my hands when I'm visiting the White House. I don't go to gala dinners. I'm not the man about town. I'm not that guy. But with 30 visits on my article or 30 people watching my videos, we took down Goliath. And that really is a David and Goliath story. And, and even now, I get threats. I'm talking to an individual at the moment whose first thing he says is, I'm going to give it to my solicitors. And I go for it. Get them to answer the questions about your business because it doesn't add up what you're doing. That's the first telltale sign thing. I mean, I had an email yesterday from somebody which was fired off to the high courts, which is ridiculous. And you get all this stuff, all this flack all the time. And then another wee saying comes to mind: if you're not getting flack, you're not over the target. I'm not reckless. I don't believe I'm reckless. I'm just doing what I believed. If I was a real journalist, as Darlene Jones said, I'm not a real journalist. We don't want to interview Danny DeHeck because he's not a real journalist. I mean, Fox 35 News interviewed me, but they didn't want to publish what they said because I don't know why, but they didn't publish. Maybe they're holding back. But I have, like we've had CoffeeZilla. His video in the last 6-7 weeks has had 4.2 million views. He's similar to myself. He's a good mate. I met him. I know where he lives. I can't remember actually. I had to get there secretly. But what I'm saying is we share a bond. We've got a YouTuber out there with over 4.5 million clicks, subscribers, who invited me to help with his investigation that he was doing with Goliath Ventures. He also filed a whistleblower complaint about Christopher Delgado, probably before I did, even though I broke the story. He's also just recently done another video about the Onyx Reserve. And I just received today an email from the Onyx Reserve guys. Tom, this is actually worth bringing up on the screen. Now, I haven't read this email, but this is a company that was associated with Matt Birks. They had him on their pitch deck as the operations manager. And today, even though they emailed me and promised that they would get back to me, they never did. And now I see that they're still advertising on their YouTube channel that they are offering between 5 and 7% per month. And now they're making claims which don't add up. So I could probably get a letter from their lawyers now, because that's the flack I'm going to get if I put this up. So this is, hey, Danny, it's been 6 months since we last connected, and a lot's happened behind the scenes. Well, I'm absolutely sure a lot's happened behind the scenes, especially if you subscribe to the Patreon account of CoffeeZilla. You can watch a video all about it. This is the Onyx Reserve. If you don't know this, there's two individuals. Now, they're offering 5 to 7% return per month. They claim on their website that they do pretty much the same sort of stuff as Christopher was doing. And this is just shady as they come, in my opinion. I haven't done any, already the company's been exposed for association with Matt Birks. Matt Birks has already got Jonathan Mason telling people that he can get them into another fund where they're going to get 3.5% per month. And if you refer your rich buddies, as he put it, into it, they would pay you a percentage, a finder's fee. Now, Christopher built Goliath Ventures on finder's fees. He claimed that he was getting $60,000 a month in yesterday's video. He also claimed that Nick Petrillo, Jason Newton, and himself had brought in $5 million, which led to an interesting investigation. And there's some really interesting stuff here. Christopher claimed that he was divvying up the money between Christopher, Nick, and Jason Newton. So 3 people. And at one stage, Nick was getting a bigger percentage. So they brought in $5 million to invest on My Liquidity Partners, and the finder's fees, which we've actually tracked some really interesting stuff overnight. The finder's fees were about $75,000. So they forfeited $5 million worth of their friends and families and associates' money to get $75,000 to split it up. Now, it seems like there's a pattern out there where all these people are using other people's Ponzi schemes to generate the returns and white labeling their service. That's what this whole video is going to be about today. So here, and then we've associated Jonathan Mason to insurance. And we also showed a video a couple of days ago of his buddy with the beard, the big beard, who had also claimed that they have ceased paying out people. And they claim they weren't associated with Goliath Ventures, even though they've been investing people's money, paying out dividends, but currently freezing all dividends. It just goes on and on and on. So I haven't even read this email yet. But these guys, they hide. Shit hits the fan. They wait, and then they go forward and do it again. They rinse and repeat. I'm really interested to see what this email says, and I thought I'd share my experience with it. Okay, a new chapter for Onyx Reserve. Let's start again. This is what I call, when I read those lines, my brain goes, Danny brain goes, oh my goodness. Sketchy Australians. Okay, Nev. Over the past several months, we've successfully completed our venture capital fund and have entered an exciting new chapter. So let's just forget about all the news of all these investment too good to be true opportunities. And they're going to start a new chapter. Partnering with many of the world's most recognized athletes and entertainers to acquire luxury real estate opportunities alongside leading developers. Okay, now if I'm going to read this in Danny's mind, what athletes? Michael Jordan? What are we going to say here? Entertainers? Jason Derulo? I mean, why don't these people put the names of the entertainers and the athletes in their newsletters? They might do. I haven't read it yet. The Onyx Reserve Signature Estate Fund. Oh my goodness. Rather than competing for ideas on the open market, we've built our system, a system few investment groups can reach. So what is he saying here? rather than competing for deals on the open market. Remember, Christopher said that they were trying, like NLP was a scam out there that they were using a white label service for, right? And when that fell over, what do you think Chris did? He probably went looking for another one. These guys. And then Chris said that they were trying to build their own fund. So am I reading this right? Are they saying that they're looking for competing for deals on rather than searching for ways to find investments in return? We've given up. We've built an ecosystem a few investment groups can reach. Through our extensive networks of world-renowned athletes, entertainers, and strategic partners, we are partnering directly with many of the country's premier luxury developers on branded resident and trophy real estate opportunities. Why would you even believe anything that these people are saying? Now, the good thing about this guy, they claim that they help over 60 athletes with their portfolios, right? And have you ever tried to contact a famous athlete? And I talked to a basketball player who invested over $400,000 with Goliath Ventures. And he said that if he doesn't get his money back from Christopher, he's going to go public and use 600,000 followers that he has on his social media to bust out Christopher. That's what he said. Never heard from him again, but he was a famous athlete. I should have asked him at the time, are you familiar with the Onyx Reserve guys? Or is there anyone who's watching my videos now that invests with these guys who get the dividends that they claim that you're going to get? And do you have a contract? Is it insured by Matt Burke? These relationships have allowed us to negotiate substantial purchase discounts. Oh, I've heard this all before. Several unique developers incentives and structure transitions designed to better align interests to help protect capital. Oh my God. So Matt Burks was helping people because they had insurance for Goliath Ventures. And all of a sudden, the company that was or is, I don't know, associated with Matt Burks is now saying that they've got to help invest capital. Help investors' capital, protect. This is the same shit that I see all the time. The momentum has been incredible. The momentum has been incredible. What momentum? You've been hiding for 6 months. In the last 30 days alone, we've closed more than 21 million in luxury real estate while expanding our pipeline of future acquisitions. We've also partnered on major developments, including, he's actually named some stuff now. So I'll get these read because I'm not familiar with the names.
Viceroy Residences, Fort Lauderdale, the Colette and Opus Coconut Grove.
My God, Coconut Grove? That's not the drink. Anyway, recently hosting a premier marketing event at, I'm just going to read this because I'm going to get this stuffed up. Let's have a listen.
Viceroy Residences and preparing to host another exclusive event at the Colette in mid-July. In addition, we've completed transactions alongside internationally recognized athletes including soccer legend Roberto Carlos, F1 driver Rubens Barrichello, and golf major champion Dustin Johnson. Several additional partnerships are expected to be announced in the coming months, headlined by global stars including Flo Rida, French Montana, Jordan Spieth, and more. This pipeline includes some of the biggest names in golf, tennis, soccer, Formula One, music, and more.
Right, so they have actually named some individuals here. So you know what I will do? My team of Avengers will now try and find Ruben, I can't even say his name. What is it, Ruben?
Roberto Carlos.
Roberto Carlos, and all these other names. If I try and find their contact details and send them an email, do you think I'll get a response back? I don't know. Do they have a connection with them? Well, what I would do, I'd be going to these three names that you see in front of the screen here, and I'd be going to their social media and see whether they actually do any talking about their connection with the Onyx Reserve. The first thing I would do is I would tell them, have they seen the video that CoffeeZilla did about the Onyx Reserve? Are you familiar that the Onyx Reserve has been investigated for over 12 months now? Anyway, what next? So let's just read the whole lot.
What's next? We're currently finalizing fund allocations, which is expected to close within the next 45 days. Immediately following its close.
So stop right there. So here we go. We're expected to close in the next 45 days. Now, every single Ponzi scheme and scam that I investigate always has fear of missing out techniques. Putting a deadline on it and forcing people to make a decision within 45 days. Just time for you to get your funds together before you invest in this don't miss out opportunity.
Immediately following its close, we'll be launching Fund 2 with a targeted $100 million capital raise. If you'd like priority access before Fund 2 opens publicly, simply reply to this email and we'll add you to the priority waitlist. We're just getting started, and we are excited to share what's ahead.
So what I'll do, I will actually reply to that email. I will use the research that we've done on the Onyx Reserve, and I will ask them some prudent questions and see what we get back. And that will help me with my investigations that we are doing on the Onyx Reserve at the moment. These individuals wrote to me telling me they would do this and do that and reply to my emails, and I never received anything back from them. Anyway, so I think that's the updates. The other thing I have got that's quite interesting, as we said, we know of another interview with Darlene Jones with another investor. We also know that there is going to be some more media coming out. What have I got? So there's going to be some more articles from an independent researcher coming out in the not too distant future. What do we call ourselves? Somebody like myself. Oh, Susie, did you not know I'm running a premiere at the same time? Problem last night when I was trying to fix my audio problem I had. I switched my video saving software to save audio files instead of saving movies. So I was up to 3 o'clock last night waiting for my movie to finish rendering, and it just took too long, finished up going to bed. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that I'm running a premiere at the same time that I'm running this live. So this is the premiere. I've got 3 people watching. So now what I need to do is go over to the live that I'm doing at the moment, which is here. I've got 13 people watching. Thank you very much. So if you go to my I'm also YouTube broadcasting channel, on 6 different channels. So now I'm going to go to my premiere. Right. Ooh, and my premiere, which is here. Yesterday's video. All right. Okay, everybody. This was yesterday's videos. Come to my live. Boom. All right, and then I'll pin that to that chat message. I'll pin the message, and then that will get us back on track. Alrighty, so if you haven't been keeping up with current events, ladies and gentlemen, there's 5 videos released on FWTV, and then they put a message on the screen basically telling everybody that they want to be ethical and not name and shame anyone in the videos, however they did so. Anyway, they accidentally left all the names in there, as you do when you're a professional. And then the other thing we did is, so we actually wrote my first book, and you can purchase it. I'll put the link while we're doing lives in here. But basically, the book is dedicated to my team of Avengers and also all the victims. Everyone who trusted Goliath Ventures and their savings. To the investigators, journalists, regulators, and whistleblowers who refused to look away. And to my Avengers, the quiet volunteers working tirelessly behind the scenes. And we had an amazing amount of people with the Goliath Ventures team that helped do the research. Your commitment to uncovering the truth has made the publication possible. Now, that's my book. I explain about the book, editor notes, introduction, and then we got stuck into the biggest quote that I can remember. Their money was used to make distributions, was used for corporate events. We used it for personal spend. We used their funds to keep the company going. That's Christopher Delgado's best saying he ever said. And then we've got part 1, and we actually go right through all the way to 5, and we have all the transcripts that Darlene Jones and FWTV have actually since removed. They put their videos back yesterday after I did my first one, and the video that we're about to watch has actually been edited down to 31 minutes. The one that we're about to watch is the full 1 hour and 15 minutes worth of content. So we might be here for a while. So what we did do is we actually went through, and all the names of all the people that they mentioned in the book are listed here. So people mentioned in the transcripts, obviously Christopher Delgado, Darlene, I can't even say his names, but these were people that were part of Bidward. And these were people Christopher claimed that he was providing, and we did get it right. Christopher was claiming that he was a consultant to these people. Jane Newton was mentioned in the book, and then Jard, I can't even say his name, never can, never will.
Junaid
Dar, Seed Hunters, and we know that Seed Hunter used Christopher's apartment to run an opening event. We know that they still have got Mark's Najam's name in the videos, even the redacted versions. Matt Burks, as I just talked about, he was associated to the Onyx Reserve, and we notified them about it. They were alarmed. They promised to answer our questions. They ghosted us, and now we see that they're now out there seeking for investors to invest in their company, claiming that they have got connections with some of the most famous sport players in the world, and we'll ask for confirmation of this. Nick Petrillo and his sister in the administration, they were talked about, but she wasn't named. And, we found out Nick's companies. And also Nadia Bringus, which we do believe she'll probably do some jail time as well. They talked about Nadia as the accountant, even though she was a bookkeeper, apparently going by her credentials. And then what we did is we highlighted in the book persons of interest. We have over 300 persons of interest. And in this image right here, we've actually narrowed it down to 27 main conspirators, people who endorse Christopher and the like. And we've been chatting to two of these individuals on a one-on-one basis at the moment. And what we're doing as we go on with this, we'll actually make it easier for investigators to understand the structure of Goliath Ventures. This investigation is not over by a long shot. But Christopher had multiple companies. Nick Petrillo had multiple companies. One of the main ones that was mentioned was 21 Ventures. And then Tina Turner, which is actually her maiden name is Petrillo. And then Jason Newton, who was also a former president of 21 Ventures, which is Nick's company. So those three people are probably the main dogs: Christopher, Nick, and Jason Newton. And then we've got all the other names of all the other people that we've seen are associated and endorsing. In time, we will, add to this list and put more details. We're actually asking people if they have any more details about people that are actively involved. We will put what we call a sort of a description of exactly what role they played, and that's it. But if you want that book, it's not hard to find. All you need to do is go to theheck.com. You'll find it. If you click on Goliath, when you click on Goliath, it takes you to the Goliath Ventures investigation, and you've got Goliath Ventures memoirs. It's a nice way of supporting what we do. We've sold 4 copies so far. So if you want a copy of this book, it's 178 pages, and it's the whole transcripts of what we're about to look at the moment. Alrighty, guys, let's get into it. So first of all, I'm not going to probably do the speech from Darlene. I might just do a few seconds of it, and then we'll fast forward to the groundbreaker stuff.
I'm WFTV Channel 9 anchor and investigative reporter Darlene Jones, based here in Orlando, Florida. Many of you have followed my extensive reporting, Goliath Falls, which is a series of reports that focus on my exclusive interview with Christopher Delgado.
And there was a chance when I was going to have an interview with Christopher in his house after he had been charged. And that was actually quite a thing that I was actually, I suggested, and powers that be were actually trying to make that happen. So it would have been quite funny, and I still would be quite keen to do that if Chris was allowed to talk to anyone else. But I wanted to interview him face to face, and I said I would do that, which is actually a bit of a crack-up, really. But anyway, hopefully we'll get past. The sound quality is not very good at the moment because for some reason they recorded this on left ear only on mono, but the sound quality after she talks will get better.
Federal case. and we will update this site and all of our WFTV platforms with the latest information
Let's
as
wait for
we
it to
do
finish.
so.
Here we go.
All right, so
There we go. Sounds better, I hope.
tell me your first and last name again and who you are.
Freaking hilarious, Chris.
I'm Chris Delgado, the former CEO of GOLIATH Ventures.
So I want to revisit a couple things from yesterday, just so I have clarity. The contract agreements, like who developed, who wrote those?
Ha!
Yeah, originally the agreements were mirrored after MLP because we were originally white labeling their fund. And we had already had people invested in MLP. So we wanted to make sure that our agreements kind of read similar to theirs. It wasn't until later on where, securities questions started getting...
No, I don't know if we have. Yesterday we showed you some interesting stuff about NLP. We looked at a video where it showed that NLP didn't actually do the volume and trading to generate the returns they were paying people. We haven't actually got, I don't think anyone's got an NLP contract. If you do have one, or you just happen to have one sitting in your filing system, please fire it through to us. Danny@dheck.com is my email address. We would like to see what he just made claim of.
They started getting brought up and
have I got an echo?
Issues with the SEC, and that's when we went to different law firms to have our agreements reviewed and restructured.
I know what MLP is, but what is MLP?
MLP is My Liquidity Partner. They were a crypto liquidity fund that a lot of people were invested in. Kind of like we discussed before, how MLP took off was everyone in crypto was involved.
Okay,
everyone in crypto was invested in this company.
Okay,
so it kind of gave it the golden stamp of approval.
Okay, so we're going to fix the echo. I'll get rid of that. Hopefully, what I've just done will fix it. Okay, audio system. Okay, so hopefully we got rid of that echo. I'll have to listen to it for a while. Right, let's carry on. I'm actually going to go, let's see if we get rid of the echo first.
If every crypto person is investing in this company, it must be legit. It's kind of been one of those things where we've had confirmation that funds are frozen and funds are there, and we've had the other side where it's just kind of all a rumor mill of, it was a Ponzi and it just collapsed.
So, do you know who wrote the original MLP agreement?
Got rid of
All we know that the company was structured in the UK, specifically in London, but we weren't aware of who the law firm that wrote that agreement.
Don't you think that's incredible? So here's Christopher claiming that he was a consultant, advising people that are involved in large crypto opportunities. Didn't even know where the contract that he signed, where he was putting millions of people's money into, to white label. So he was basically investing in other people's Ponzi schemes, and then the returns they were getting, passing them back to his investors, claiming that the investments were coming from Goliath Ventures. Now, this is very similar to what we've just seen with other companies, which I'm not going to name. But anyway, yes. Anyway, that I think that echo's gone now, so we'll carry on.
So the cryptocurrency, every time I think I understand it, then I don't. So like, how did you learn to invest in cryptocurrency?
So I was doing a lot of consulting in Dubai, and I was working with a lot of these crypto influencers to help structure their businesses, to help them get them on media, kind of build a more structured form.
All right, so that there is, I know everything about that. And if you want to hear the story, the real story, he was actually doing advertising for Carl Moon, right? They charged Carl Moon $100,000 to do some advertising and marketing for him. That's who he's talking about now. All right? And the rumors go that they spent $30,000 doing the marketing, but charged Carl Moon $100,000. Carl was actually quite happy with the results that he got. Carl Moon is, so this was, sorry, I was get rid of that button. Where's my mouse gone? Here it is. Operations don't allow. So this is who he's talking about. So all this is fabricated to make it sound like he's doing, because if he was being transparent, he would name the person he was doing marketing for, rather than create the illusion that he's doing marketing for multiple companies and everyone's just knocking on Chris's door wanting him to do their marketing for them. It wasn't. It was one individual. Right now, I could ring up Carl Moon and ask him if this is the case, because I have been chatting to Carl Moon directly and he spilt the beans on everything that Christopher was doing for him. So that's the truth.
Into what they were trying to do, because they were invested in so many different projects, and they need someone to kind of come in and hone in on what's making money, what's not making money. And that was my job for the longest time. And so as I was making a lot of money in Dubai, I was investing heavily into crypto. And I was asking them, you know, they all own Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these tokens.
He's trying to figure out how Carl Moon was making his money.
But they're paying all their staff, they're taking trips, they're doing all these things. So I'm asking them, how are you guys making money on your crypto if you're not selling it? And that's how crypto liquidity kind of came into my realm.
All right. So the connection is, if you go back to my book, you can see that name that I can't pronounce, co-founder of Seed Hunter. So Chris had a relationship with this guy here. Seed Hunter used his swanky apartment to run their opening event or a social event. I don't know exactly what it was. I have photos of that event in Chris's apartment in Dubai. This guy was the former group chief executive officer of Moon Group. Christopher describes as a Dubai-based business associate with executive cryptocurrency experience. According to Christopher, they worked closely together before Goliath Ventures, when Gen Ventures was probably around, was formed. And I wish I get his name right.
Junaid.
Later become involved alongside with this other guy, which was another two investors, in developing the proposed investment platform for Goliath. So it sounds like, to me, that this guy and this guy helped Christopher potentially put together contractors. Don't need any free likes, but thanks for asking. Anyway, let's get back to Christopher and see what else he's going to give you the illusion that he was just a man about town when it come to crypto investments. Remember, Christopher's experience at this time is flipping burgers and also investing in Trader's Domain and losing over $1 million, because we see an email where he was trying to get $1 million out of Trader's Domain. CoffeeZilla's video that's had 4.2 million views highlighted that. And then, in fact, why don't we just do this? Let's do this properly. Let's go here. So this is CoffeeZilla's interview.
Let's find.
So if Christopher was here, success. Let's see, Christopher's, where did he say that? Was it there? Goliath Ventures. There it is. I'm not sure.
I think Chris just copied their concepts.
Well, let's find out. Let's look at their website. It's dead right now, but pulling an old archive, we do see similarities. Liquidity pools run on Uniswap, allowing you to hyper compound. Then I saw this photo from Danny. That's Chris Delgado with Verlin Santiago, the creator of My Liquidity Partners, who allegedly fled to Dubai. Now, to be clear, My Liquidity Partners was found to be a Ponzi scheme. Could it be that Goliath was stealing another person's playbook and operating it as a private equity firm? I mean, it's obviously a big accusation to make.
And now Christopher has admitted this on camera.
So I started digging through my old Ponzi cases and found another link, Trader's Domain, a Ponzi scheme I investigated years ago. I had all their insider emails, and I found within them Chris Delgado. He was emailing as a special investor, trying to withdraw $1.3 million from a collapsed scam. And this is when all his old claims about taking risk came back to me.
I don't think people really understand the amount of risks that I took early on in my life, not only my corporate career, but also even with my current company, and what I was willing to do and what I was willing to lose to get to this part.
At this point in the investigation, I'm like 99.9% sure this is just a Ponzi scheme worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Chris is already involved with some. The numbers don't make sense. And so I'm thinking, clearly I'm going to make a video, right? But that's when the first lawsuit dropped.
I have been sued in America, and the dumbest thing I could ever do is turn up in America. Hello!
Yeah, but they're going to try to bury you financially.
I'm already buried financially. Because that's the crazy thing.
Actually upsets me watching this. I don't know why, but look, I think when you report the truth, when you spend hours, and my Avengers know this, we've all spent hours and hours researching this guy, and people understand. People may not realize why I want to show how bad it is that Darlene Jones, Channel 9 News, WFTV decided it's a good idea to get Christopher on screen here when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Darlene is not an investigative journalist that I would say. She calls me. I mean, what type of investigative journalist would you prefer? One that actually stops a Ponzi scheme and stops people losing money, names and shames anyone that is running or promoting a Ponzi scheme, breaks the news, stops people from investing, helps people who've lost their money and gives them direction? Or would you rather somebody that waits for the courts to find somebody guilty and then sits there as a news reader and reads the filings from the courts? I mean, here's Christopher still going on about how he was a consultant for scam companies, working for and taking money from people of influence, claiming he's doing marketing campaigns like he's some genius when he's just a bottom feeder fraudster. Every step along the way, we covered it. CoffeeZilla is amazing. And everything Chris says here is he's trying to control the narrative. Well, wake up, Christopher Alexander Delgado. We know when you take a shit in your house, mate. And all your bullshit that you're spewing out here, trying to throw people under the bus, you're just an animal, mate. And we're going to keep exposing you and the people who have endorsed you along the way.
Was them introducing me to these different funds, MLP being the biggest.
So were you doing day trading? How did that?
No, I mean, it's a fund.
Is that loud enough?
You invest your money. They do all the liquidity pairings on Uniswap or whatever DeFi platform they were using. And then you would earn a portion of the transaction fee back.
Is that like a buy and hold kind of thing? Or
not like a MicroStrategy aspect, but basically you're offering liquidity or money on a DeFi network. And as things sell, because you're holding those pairings, the platform's paying you a transaction fee. The most simple form is when you transact a wire and you send money from one bank to another and you pay the $30 fee, so that goes to the bank. They're facilitating the movement of funds from one branch to another. You're doing the same thing in a DeFi platform.
And this is really important for you guys to understand what was actually happening with My Liquidity Partners. $200 million had been invested in My Liquidity Partners, so I've been told. The liquidity, the amount of transactions that $30 that he talked about is a really good analogy, actually. Thanks, Chris. I'll use it. Because those $30 and all the transactions that were happening, the $30 times the transaction number didn't add up to the amount of money they were claiming they were paying people on a monthly basis. So anyone that was hired as a consultant could have figured out that it was a scam. And the corporate spend, the 12 sports cars, the 8 properties, the 18 Rolex watches, don't get me started, money. Even we worked out that his personal spend a year would have been about 25 million. That means the amount of turnover he would have had to generate to justify spending $25 million on shit that means nothing. Lifestyle marketing didn't add up. Hence, it's a scam. So anyone in their right mind who might have been using the excuse that My Liquidity Partners was legitimate is a very low IQ person, not a clever person, because I could work it out. I've got a reading level of a 9-year-old and I can't read and write. I can call a scam, obviously. He knew what he was doing, or he's utterly stupid.
In a
Decentralized.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Decentralized.
She's doing her research at the kitchen table.
Okay. Talk to me like I don't know what
Yeah.
cryptocurrency is. So yesterday we talked about two different pots, like this company or liquidity pool that you were trying to get up and running with the folks in Dubai. So help me understand, explain to me like what this was supposed to look like when it came to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, the original idea was we wanted control of our money and we were raising money. And so we didn't want to put millions and millions of dollars with MLP with another fund. So that's why we were developing our own liquidity pools. So the idea, the original concept was that we would still have money with MLP, maybe not as much, but then we would hold vast majority into our own fund. That was the original concept of what we were trying to build.
It's impossible.
And that's what never came to fruition.
I mean, it's running today. You know, it's.
So he's participating in a Ponzi scheme, as Susie just said. NLP was a Ponzi scheme, right? And now he's talking about copying the Ponzi scheme and making a proper Goliath Ventures liquidity pools thing. Absolutely crazy. Right, while we're there. The Red Raptor. How you doing, mate?
Come on. I want to interrupt y'all, YouTube. Did anybody catch that right there?
Go for it.
No answers. Crickets. So, just like Danny said before he hit play, Chris is either knowledgeable about the scam or he's a complete idiot. Because Darlene playing Miss, oh, I'm too goody two shoes to even find out that you're a scam as well. She doesn't know nothing about the scam, but she said either in the earlier video or this one, she says that's the very definition of a Ponzi scheme. Why doesn't she call out the scam right there?
Yeah.
Right freaking there.
No, because the other day, mate, she's sitting on her stool telling people that she was just playing stupid so that he would relax and give him enough rope to hang himself. That's her reasoning. But after, you know, she must have watched her own interviews. But this is where you say this isn't right. I wouldn't be able to sit here with a pen and paper for a start and take notes as this guy's saying this shit. Because
the way that she's trying to arrange her questions, she got so far into investigatory mode that she was like, what happens after this happens, after this happens? Why doesn't she call him out to say, oh, so you mean to tell me that you were taking the money to put it into from the fund, the Goliath fund, and you were putting it into My Liquidity Partners? Why didn't she say that right there? That you know that's the definition of a freaking Ponzi scheme.
And no offense.
That's what Darlene needs to be called out about right there.
And no offense to your profession, mate, but you're a truck driver. And if a truck driver gets criticized for being just a truck driver, then let's just say that the Red Raptor here is just a normal person, and he can say that. How can somebody who claims to be an investigative journalist not call out somebody she's interviewing for running now we know as a $400 million Ponzi scheme? Why would she let him walk, and why would she put this on the internet?
Right. How did he say, oh, my dad was a truck driver, right?
Oh my
Back
God.
to a truck driver. Chris, does your dad know? Does your dad and your mother know? Because they're going to be looking at you in prison, dude. Does your mom and dad know when they got that far into the interview that you were lying to the face of that Darlene lady?
Yeah.
Do your parents know? Do you have any shame about what you've done, dude? That's what that lady should have been telling you to your face.
Yeah. I just, you know, like, you know me, Rich, but it's like, it's just unheard of. It is absolutely batshit crazy that she's not calling him out or giving him a sense of accountability for his action. I mean, does he not realize how disgusting what he's done is. And that, that's the part where you're going to say, do you not realize that there's people at the moment that have lost everything, all their 401k, everything they work for, all the firemen, the policemen who don't have the money, but thought because a friend recommended them into it, they would trust. These people, he's in the whole videos I watched of this friggin' 5.5 hours of redacted stuff. He says only once that I can remember, what would you say to the victims? And he'd go, well, we never intended it. We never intended not to be able to make people whole. So even there, he didn't even say, I'm gutted, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot, I'm ashamed. Nothing. No remorse that I've seen in these videos. And these
no
videos,
sensibility to it at all.
well, these videos were theoretically put online because Darlene said that the victims need answers, and no victim has come back to me and thanked and said this is good shit. They've all said this is shocking. Right. So if the victims aren't happy about these videos, why the F are these friggin' videos online for? Because they want the bloody ratings. Right. And they're trying to make out they've broke the bloody story. Don't get me started. CoffeeZilla broke the story. He's the one that got the publicity behind this.
Yeah. So she could be bashing on CoffeeZilla all the same. And CoffeeZilla and all your following out there, we got your back, dude. We took the flack. And the only time you ever take flack is when you're over the target.
Boom.
So we'll receive her little sensibilities out of whack, criticism, for the sake of you blowing up the story. But we all know the truth. This is a freaking scam, and she's just as liable to the freaking scam by sitting on the freaking other side of the table with the scammer.
Yeah. It's like she's holding hands with him. I think one comment that went on the screen that I won't say, it's not that far. Oh, thanks, mate. I mean, it's just, I don't, I've said to people, I say to people, may not have said it online, but I'm not worried about not getting the publicity out of this. Only reason I want the publicity so I get a bigger footprint on the internet and I can actually expose more scams, because that's the nature of the beast. But it will come out. I mean, sooner or later, Channel 9 News will have to do something with me. They'll have to talk about the elephant in the room. And that's why I want to be there at the sentencing, because I know I'll walk right up to her and go, "G'day, Darlene." And she'll have to acknowledge me. She'll have to say something to me. And maybe that's where I get my ear time and people go, "What was your involvement?" Well, I'm the one that stopped the scam with my Avengers. It's going to be fun. I mean, I'm quite excited.
Let them all tell us that we're doing this for clicks now.
Yeah.
I don't care if we're the only scam Avengers in the world in all of lifetimes combined, or even just one scam that ever made it this far. We are what is supposed to be happening not only in this country, but Danny's in New Zealand, y'all. If he doesn't tell you that every episode, why are we waking up to the fact that it's the number one problem in America and nobody's doing nothing about it? Why are we the ones waking up to it and nobody's holding accountability to that fact?
Yeah.
Why? Call it for clicks all you want.
Good on you, mate. All right, I better carry on. You can stay here if you want.
I'll go back on mute.
Yeah, good on you, mate. See ya. All right. Say goodbye. Have a good time, Locks. See you, mate. All right, guys, let's get into this. Anyway, don't remember the good part of this. This video is 1 hour, 15 minutes long. It's been taken off the internet and it's been put back on. And they've chopped off over 35 minutes of it. But we've got the originals.
It's about 2.5 years late. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, listen, we're working with developers. They're telling us a month out, a month and a half out, the very latest. We're dumping millions of dollars into development. You can't not believe that this is going to come to fruition at some point. Did I know it would be 2.5 years later? Absolutely not. Were we doing everything in our possession to move this as fast as possible? Absolutely. And so it was just one of those things where
I mean, let's just put this in perspective. How many, 2.5 years later, he hasn't got his own scam going, 12 sports cars, 18 Rolex watches, real estate. I mean, the real estate that he was buying, and I've just shown you from the Onyx Reserve, now they're claiming they're doing in luxury real estate investing. Wonder if their involvement of Matt Burke and all that's interwound. All these guys are all interlinked. And I can't wait until the next indictment or the next charges are laid. And then we'll find a whole network of brotherhood around that, a whole other alpha men around that. And we'll start to unravel this. And boy, even last night, I received a message from an investor from Goliath who spent $850,000 in Goliath, who's now reaching out to me, even though we reached out to them originally. Wants to talk to me about something. Probably, what's the chances to get my money back? I don't know. But we already know this individual. We have a background picture of them all. We just know everybody that's involved in this. And a lot of people's are the net winners. The net winners are the ones that are keeping their mouth shut. Wait until you see those unravel. This investigation is not over.
You're trying, but it's just roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And we're leaning on experts, we're leaning on developers, we're leaning on people to get this up and
Okay, Chris, let's be transparent. What's the name of the developers that you paid, what I think you're going to say soon, $56 million to develop software where you're going to be able to return people's investments up to 8% or 10% per month? What's the name of the developers, Chris? You're going to give us those names?
running as fast as possible.
Who were they? Who were these people in Dubai, these developers?
So
Good question, Darlene. I would have asked that question.
it was Junaid and Derek, who are business partners out in Dubai. I met Junaid because Junaid was working with one of the biggest crypto influencers in Dubai.
Carl Moon, everybody. Janae was working with Carl Moon. All right, we told you that just a second ago. But why doesn't he say Carl Moon's name? Because he's saying everyone else's names.
That I was consulting for.
Now, I also know that there was a personal deal that went really south between Christopher and Carl Moon. Yeah, I know everything, Christopher. I know you're watching my videos. Yeah.
He was a COO, and I was outside consultant. And so we would work hand in hand, and we would have a lot of meetings, talk a lot about the business.
So Christopher's trying to give you the persona that he's working with multiple people. This whole conversation that we've been in so far is 5 people. No more than 5 people. We're talking about a small group of people. We're not talking about multiple companies. We're just talking about a few connections that he had, and he's trying to make out like he's a corporate genius helper of companies. It's all, it's just all the small people in the world. It's absolutely batshit crazy. So it is so fun. This is, I don't know if it's the right word, positive affirmations. I don't know, but everything here is, all our research has come to, we're not wrong. We have not missed a beat.
He was very intelligent about the market, about crypto, about how things worked. And so eventually he decided to leave, and he was also invested in MLP.
Okay.
Oh, did we just cut some stuff out there, darling? Remember, these are the edited version, but not the heavily edited versions that they put on the internet and they took them off again. Anyway, so that's interesting. So they're talking about Carl Moon. That's the influencer that Christopher's talking about here.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah,
So what was his name again?
So our business partners out there were Junaid and Derek. And I worked with Junaid hand in hand because he was a CEO of one of the biggest crypto influencers in Dubai, and I was outside consultant.
Well, anybody can research who that is, can't they, eh? Carl Moon, Moon Enterprises, whatever it's called.
And so we would have a lot of meetings.
It's in my book.
A lot of work after hours to build this company that
the Moon
this
Group
crypto influencer was trying to build. And so he was also invested in MLP. And so we're both making a lot of money. We're both investing in this company. Everyone in Dubai, every crypto person is invested and giving it that golden stamp. The concept came from, why don't we just build it ourselves? And that's how Junaid and Derek kind of came into the mix. Was they knew how to develop the system because they were active traders. So they knew how to develop the system. They knew the people that we needed to bring on board to get this up and running.
Got it. Okay. So that's when you were talking yesterday about
So-
like the white label versus.
Which is doing research at the table. I've just messaged Carl Moon and told him that Christopher's talking about him on the internet. So hopefully Carl might pop into the show and say g'day.
Is that where that?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So help me understand what you mean by like white label, because I think of like, okay, I want to sell my own mugs in the U.S. and I'm going to get 1 million from China and then bring them over here and put my label on it.
That's drop shipping.
Help me understand it from what you guys were
Yeah,
trying to
no.
do.
So basically, white labeling is there's another product in the market, and all we're doing is taking that product, rebranding it as our product.
Okay.
And then instead of funneling money directly to that product, we're funneling through our company. So the forward-facing, the white label is our company,
Goliath.
Goliath.
Okay.
And then we would move that money over to the actual product.
Okay.
It's fraud.
Got it. Okay, that's all I needed to clear up from yesterday.
Yeah.
And so now let's talk about Nick Petrillo. Is that how he says it?
Nick Petrillo.
Okay.
Now, if you go to the live version, at 11 minutes in, they'll probably call him Nick.
So in the structure of Goliath, Nick was, it says here overseer, but
He was our COO.
what did the CEO do for Goliath Ventures?
And he was our chief operations officer, so he was in charge of making sure that everything was moving forward. He was also in charge of overseeing all the directors. And really, we already had a system in place, so it was more so just someone implementing that system and someone working with our compliance, making sure that all our directors had their MSA agreements, their master service agreements signed with Goliath, making sure that they were compliant, making sure that they weren't doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. And then
It's kind of ironic. And the first civil lawsuit that came out was Nick Petrillo requesting that Goliath Ventures pay him $40 million worth of unpaid royalties.
you know, also his job entailed to oversee the numbers. And he would work with our accountant, Nadia, to review all the numbers, simplify them for my review, and then I would then instruct Nadia to send either the wires out or the crypto out.
That sounds like a lot of jobs.
It was a big team.
Big team.
How did you meet Nick Petrillo?
So I was introduced to Nick through a mutual friend.
What's the
Me
name?
and my friend's kids played baseball together. And at the time, I was going back and forth to Dubai quite often.
Who was that, Susie?
And so when I had come back to one of my kids' games, my friend asked me, you know, what do I do for a living? What industry are you in? And I told him that I'm a consultant. I deal with a lot in the crypto industry. I'm working with a lot of these crypto influencers and companies. And he goes, I think you need to meet my friend Nick. He loves crypto, but he keeps losing a bunch of money. And so one night, one big college basketball game was playing, and we went over to Nick's house to watch the game and have drinks, and that was the first time I met Nick.
How did you guys come to be partners to start Goliath?
To be honest with you, I was semi-retired. You know,
Semi-retired.
because I had made a lot of money. I was already wealthy. I was invested in so many different things, so many different.
Oh my God, we've got to go back. Come on, if you haven't seen it, you know what I'm saying. So let's think about this. So he was already wealthy. Here we go.
Sense. And so I'm thinking, clearly I'm going to make a video, right? But that's when the first lawsuit dropped. This is when all his old claims about taking risk came back to me.
I don't think people really understand the amount of risks that I took early on in my life, not only my corporate career, but also even with my current company. and what I was willing to do and what I was willing to lose to get to this part.
At this point in the within them, Chris Delgado, he was emailing as a special investor trying to withdraw $1.3 million from a collapsed scam.
So I have to bring that up because it is batshit crazy that here he is claiming that he's retired, but at that time, he's still investing in companies. That's not retirement, by the way, because you can be an investor for a living, and losing 1.2 or 3 million, forgot what he said now.
Companies, and then also had a very thriving consulting business. So
he was consulting Carl Moon. His one person. Give me one other person's name that you were consulting is what I would ask. Can you give me some names of the people that you were consulting is what I would be asking.
When I first met Nick, it was strictly just friendship. We'd go over each other's houses for barbecues. We would hang out, after the kids' games. And there was no business talk. It wasn't until Nick started pressing, he didn't like the industry that he was in. He hated the medical sales industry. He said it was overregulated. And so he wanted out.
So did we have that court document that they finally read out about Nick, how he was in a SEC court filing? I forgot about that. It would be quite funny to bring that up.
And I think I was his out without even realizing it. And so he had pressed for a couple months to invest. And that's how the concept of us white labeling MLP started, was just, because eventually I was just like, I'm invested with this company, with MLP. If you want to invest alongside me, just go invest with them. But then Nick became privy to the referral fees and the commissions that could be made as many people as you introduced. And then that's when the idea was, why don't we just white label MLP and then create Goliath?
Why did you go into business with someone who had just settled with the DOJ?
I didn't find that out till 2.5 years later, when we started background checking all our employees and
that's a very good question. So this is the what she's talking about. And it's funny that they finally read this in the news recently, but this was here what was it?
United States $2,244,270.14 to resolve allegations.
So they got fined that much. And in here somewhere, there is mention of, I think, is it Nick? I can't do the search in here, but Nick's name's in here somewhere. Nick Petrillo. But obviously they didn't do much research on Nick's involvement with this. I can't see it, but I do remember seeing it here somewhere. As false claims. Tourniquet. Maybe I've got the wrong article, but there is an article in here somewhere. Federal. Nick Petrillo's name's in here somewhere. Is it, Nick? You're hiding it from me. Maybe it was in the downloadable PDF that come with it. I don't know. But I thought there was Petrillo. Let's try it. Petrillo. There it is. Haha, I knew it was good. So let's just read that paragraph to see what she's just talking about there.
The settlement relates to TMP's marketing and sale of compounded medicine that should be uniquely tailored to an individual patient's need and is often extremely expensive. Between 2013 and 2015, TMP, formerly located in Newport Richey, billed TRICARE seeking millions of dollars in reimbursement for compounded medicine. At the time, Christopher Patel was TMP's president and chief executive officer. Devin Patel was the company's chief operating officer. Jay Martinez was TMP's national sales director. And Nicholas Petrillo was the national account director and top sales representative.
Ooh. So that's what she's talking about there. You can read that article. I just put the link in the chat if you want to read all about Nick's history.
Reviewing where our risks were, where our liabilities were. That's when I found out that Nick had settled with the DOJ.
So, people here, you're going into business with someone talking about investing a lot of money, and you didn't do a check on this guy to see,
Oh, good on you, Darlene. Get into
if it
him.
was clean?
It kind of goes back to, no one questioned us about our agreements. No one did their due diligence on our agreements.
But you're a consultant.
This was a person I met through a friendship, and we were friends for the longest time. He wanted to invest. He wanted to build a business. I understood his struggles because he's a father, and he wanted to spend more time with his kids. And so that's kind of all that I saw at that point was he wanted my life. He wanted, I was taking my kids to school every day. I was picking them up. I was going to their practices. I was going to their games. I was doing a lot of things with my kids that he wanted to do. And so when he had brought that to my attention, that's he kind of wanted to transition out of medical and kind of live more of a relaxed life. That's really, as a father, that's really all that I saw. So I didn't really have any reason to do a background check or you have a lot of people
doing business,
vouching
don't
for
you?
him. There was no reason for me to go to do more due diligence. Also, too, I'd never been in trouble with the DOJ or with any law enforcement agency. I don't even have a speeding ticket. So it's not one of those things that I would have naturally been like, let me go see if this guy has been in any trouble. He had a thriving medical business. He was making 20 plus million a year in his medical business. Making a successful entrepreneur.
So when you found out 2.5 years later, did you try to cut ties?
No. Nick is the ultimate salesman. And, he tried to kind of explain it was civil and they settled. And, it was like kind of this back and forth that it wasn't really a big deal. And it was civil and that they settled. On the same side, too, he's already so integrated into the company. And there's already so many things going on, and there's already millions of dollars invested on both sides. So it would have been extremely hard and difficult to cut ties with this individual.
So how did he run the operation?
What do you mean?
As you saw it, how day-to-day operations?
Oh, we went to London House?
Oh, it was horrible.
They cut that out then? No?
There were many times where decisions needed to be made, things needed to press forward. He needed to meet with the team, or he needed to go out to Dubai to press the guys harder and oversee those things because I was busy or I was doing other stuff. And it was just excuse after excuse after excuse. It was the worst person to put in that position.
When you say he was only about money, how did he go about it, getting the money?
I mean, he's the first one to submit his reports. He's the first one to text me and say, ready for my distribution, ready for my commission. And then every time I penalized the team.
And then he got $40 million behind in payments.
Because they weren't working as hard or they weren't, communicating with their investors or doing their job. I penalized him too, and he would complain about it. And,
he's
he'd
a complaining
about
mate.
Taking phone calls, or he'd complain about having dinners or meetings.
Oh, did you not work it out when you were going to the kids' sports games? Could you not go out for a barbecue afterwards and just work it all out, Chris?
With investors, when really that's your job.
Yeah.
And you're making $4 million a month.
Okay, so Nick Petrillo is meant to be making $4 million a month, but Christopher's not paying him, theoretically, because Nick Petrillo filed that lawsuit asking for $40 million plus worth of unpaid stuff. So here's another lie. And don't forget, Nick Petrillo lives in a lovely ranch worth $8.5 million. There's a $5 million mortgage on that ranch. Wife still goes out and does hairdressing to help other people out. She's also given birth to his third child. Yes, she was just laid another egg, as they say. And his mistress that he had for 2 or 3 years is interesting. You see what's happening here, guys? Just a whole bunch of these men getting together as common thieves, defrauding money out of people, and all of a sudden, someone's whistleblowed them, and they've all been caught with their pants down, which you would think they normally would like their pants down, but not in this particular case. But now Darlene's investigation is carrying on. Let's see what else she uncovers.
Is he making $4 million a month?
I mean, he at that point, he was a business partner. So he had an override on the whole fund. And so it wasn't just people that he brought in, it was everyone. So he would get 1% to 2% override on $300 million.
How did he go about bringing investors into the fund?
Oh, Mr. Shankman?
I don't really know how Nick got over $200 million in over $200 million in the fund and hundreds of partners. So basically, what Nick was doing was bringing in a doctor and giving them a sweetheart deal.
What is a sweetheart deal?
Say you come in and you're just a friend, I give you 5%. Well, these doctors are getting 8.5%, 7 or 7.5% when we're not even offering that at the time. And Nick's approving these things. So they're already getting a sweetheart deal up, on the front end. Then that doctor wants to bring in,
Eric
the board of doctors that they're working or overseeing.
Dr. Eric Reidman.
Well, Nick would then offer them 0.5% or 1%. So those doctors that are coming in under the referral are getting a 5%.
Whose company is it, Chris? Yours or
return on their investment?
Nick's.
And so Nick would give that doctor the difference because Nick always made his money off of 10.
10 or 12?
It would range. Okay. The parameters of either 10 or 12 depended on how much money was brought in that month and how well we did.
So where was the money coming from to give the doctors a return?
I mean, we had a lot of inflow. We had a lot of
unreal, wasn't it?
People investing in our company. So, I mean, essentially the money was coming from other investors.
Is it robbing Peter to pay Paul?
At this point, yeah.
At what point did that stop?
It was too late. By the time our products were developed, our payouts were way too big. What we should have done is froze everything, moved $60 million into our fund, and then restructured. But at least the money was making money, and we could deal with the investor. We were just riding on our reputation of always making distributions on time, if not early. And that's what essentially, excuse my language, but fucked us.
Who made the decision to do that?
To do what?
To run the business that way.
It's collective.
Oh, rubbish.
It was...
Whose company is that?
Myself, Nick, and Matt Burks. We all knew what was going on.
Matt Burks, but his name's been scrubbed
That's why
out.
we were in Dubai so much. Because we were trying to push these products live. The problem is we fed the greed too much. Not only to the investors, but to the employees. And my back is against the wall.
Oh, poor Chrissy. Oh, he's a victim. You're a victim, Chris. Go and ask that question we all want to ask him. How do you sleep at night, Chris? Can't say much about that, can you? His back's against the wall, everybody.
We're the top 10, top 11 biggest alleged Ponzi scheme in the United States.
Was there a competition going on?
My face was everywhere. I'm the CEO. So I think at first,
Hey, just talking about faces, ladies and gentlemen. I've just sent this off to CoffeeZilla because this is a NFT that people can buy, and I don't know anything about NFTs, but I'm assuming that this NFT basically gives you. It's like when you buy your yearly membership with X or Twitter, as we like to know it, and you pay $125. And then you basically get that wee star beside your name. So Christopher was using this address here to basically, this was, people who were doing business with him could sort of verify that his wallet address was authentic because he had an NFT associated to it. Alpha Kong Club, right? And I'm sure if you went through all these Alpha Con clubs, you could actually see whose address. So if you want to do your own research, we can actually, today's show is all boring. That's a good, mate. Well, have a look at this. This will give you some excitement. Remember, 35 minutes of this video has been redacted by Channel 9 News, and we've got the original. So there's more to come. But that's Christopher's NFT. This is Christopher's address. And if you go to his address, you can actually see the transactions. And you can actually follow the money backwards if you choose and see what he was doing and how he was divvying up the money. Investors' monies was coming in, and then Christopher was doing chop-ups. Have a look at it. If you're into crypto, I'm not any good. Do it. Check it out. And any intel that you come from it, please let us know. But I've just forwarded that off to Coffee. Now, CoffeeZilla is associated to Zach XBT, who actually worked with us on another scam that we were exposing worth $1 billion, in my opinion. And Zach actually managed to track $91 million worth of funds from BG Wealth Sharing. If you do some research on that, you'll find out what I'm talking about. And he gave credit to Oz from Behind MLM and myself for our early exposure of that company. Zach Expert T, if you look him up on Twitter, is, in my opinion, the #1 blockchain investigator on the planet. And he managed to actually seize $41.5 million worth of investors' funds from getting into the Chinese cartel, Cambodia, human trafficking compounds that were running the scam that we were investigating. So we've got some really good connections. So if there's any smoking guns in here, we'll find them. But if you were wondering, what Chris was doing, then make sure you do check out that address. That is Chris's wallet address. There's not much that we don't know, but even as this investigation continues, obviously there's still things that are unraveling. We are not Chris. We are not Nick Petrillo. We don't know what they actually did, but we can investigate it and follow the evidence. And we're starting to get some brilliant receipts. Well, we've had enough brilliant receipts to shut this company down and even freeze bank accounts with our intel.
At first I'm the target. And, I'm running the company. All the responsibilities sit with me. And so I think in that aspect, this is why other people haven't either got a criminal complaint or an indictment, because the focus was on me, and it worked masterfully to their plan.
Did Nick ever threaten you?
Oh my God. Is he really trying to paint himself a victim and they're broadcasting this? Is that what we're seeing?
No, there wasn't any threats.
Good answer, Chris.
Yeah, no threats on Nick's side. We did go through 2 extortion attempts early on, or the first one early on, the second one.
What are you going to do if Chris finishes up? Nick finishes up in the same prison as you, Chris?
And so that was really the only time we had big altercations or big arguments when it came to the business.
Tell me about the extortion.
Yeah.
So the first one came.
Are you kidding me?
It was either January 23 or January 24. I forget the year, but it was early on into Goliath. Nick receives a random text from a Canadian number.
Yeah, I know who that is.
And the
Genuine?
gist of the text was basically that they know we're running a fraudulent company. They have a mountain of evidence against us. They're going to report it to every government agency in the United States and in Canada.
Wasn't us, was it? We're already doing
And
that.
the reason that I wasn't contacted, that they went to Nick, was because I was lawyered up. So it didn't matter what.
Bullshit.
It didn't matter if they came after me because they knew that my attorneys would handle it.
Okay. This doesn't sound
And some
like
other things about my ego, and, you know, I felt like I was untouchable. And they went to Nick because they said he's the more reasonable person. And that he has an opportunity to stop everything.
Okay.
Did he?
No. Nick's text messages read, "What do you want to make this go away?"
Oh my God.
And they demanded 7 Bitcoin. I told Nick to tell him to go.
Oh, you're a
kick
hero.
rocks. But Nick paid him.
Really? When? What date? What
And
transaction
that's when I
hatch?
knew we had a big problem.
Can we track that somehow?
So then it happened again last year.
Look, if anyone knows anything about that dribble, please do give us the addresses where Nick paid out that much money to somebody who was trying to extort an extortion attempt.
So in September of 25, we were sponsoring this massive conference in Orlando.
Vault
We had been part of
2025.
this organization. They're an entrepreneur organization. We've been
Hatred
part
Bit
of them for a
David.
while.
Say his name, Chris.
This is the one down by
It was at the Gaylord
the
Palms.
game. Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it was in our backyard. Everyone knew that we were part of this organization, and we've, gone to the Kentucky Derby, to the Yankee World Series games.
This is every major player who's anybody is at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
And
the
it's the fact that
Bit
it's in
David.
Orlando. So we knew we had to be the title sponsor, and we knew we wanted to, we were very proud that it was in our hometown, and we wanted to showcase that. And so when the conference started, that next day, the second day of the conference,
I created Goliath
received
Sorry
an
about that, guys.
extortion attempt.
28. Okay.
The-
So we're just
the
going to go
second day
back
of the
to
conference,
shut up, Chris.
I now receive.
So if you don't know what he's talking about, let me show you what event he was doing, because this is the video that you should have actually played, Darlene. And I'm just going to try to lose the sound of that. And this would be, instead of playing video clips of Runway to Hope, you could have actually played this video, because this would have actually shown all the co-conspirators. Now, the sounds, I'm going to turn the sound off. There we go, just because I don't like that. But this is Christopher, Steve Davis, Tomo, their names all over it. They paid $500,000. Alex, and you've got Hunter Smallback there, and you've got Jonathan Mason's back, and Tomo, Steve Davis, the fireman, I've got all these firemen ring me up, losing their life savings. It's just happy times, and they're all wearing the Goliath, and it would have cost, it cost over $1 million to be the sponsor. It could have even cost more. And this is the part that is really sickening, when he starts telling people what they actually do, because this is him lying once again.
Amount of wealth. I was big into crypto. I didn't want to put all my money in the bank. Could make passive income.
He put all his money into Traders Domain and NLP and white labeled it and made out I was Goliath Ventures was doing all the investing. He's big into crypto, isn't it?
For myself, raise my family, and basically enjoy life.
Show me the moon. There he is. I think he's, is that a hug with Jonathan Mason? Yeah, there he is, Jonathan Mason. Now, he's involved with Patrick Ben David in insurance. You've got the guard over to the side there. The guy, I didn't realise this, the guy in the blue suit is another rah guy who's got people all in an office ringing a bell every time everyone gets a sale. And I'm pretty sure he's doing insurance. There's Chris, Volt, out for dinner, having a good time with your money. Another bottle of champagne, food. And there was Punit Shaw, haven't heard much about him. There he is, big smile on your face. Looks like your tooth's crooked there, no offence, mate. Tomo, who's Tomo is meant to be like a cop for 12 years, right? And he was in the fraud department, apparently. But other people have telling him that he was actually a beat cop, giving out tickets and speeding tickets as a cop. Patrick B. David, don't know who the guy is with the white beard. He's probably nobody. There he is. The boys. This is the video you should play, darling. This is the video you should have put on TV. Vince Grietta, absolutely mortified his association with Goliath Ventures, all the people that he recommended into Goliath Ventures. Alex on his phone in the background there talking to Jonathan Mason. Even though the back of this guy's even been on Below Deck, which is a reality TV show. His mother was mortified with what Chris put him through. Investor, an endorser, co-conspirator, absolutely batshit crazy. Fine dining, there he is again, Punit Shaw, 500 people. Now, when they had their $9 million Christmas dinner, Punit Shaw had about 40 people around him. They all came down to the foyer. I had Avengers in that foyer videoing you guys. Right next to one of my Avengers was Nadia Bringus with her laptop open doing work. Christopher come down that night. This is a night before they spent $9 million on an event after not paying investors for 2.5 months. This is how ridiculous Christopher is. Come down for 10, 20 minutes to introduce himself to everyone, then went back up to his room. There's Nick Petrillo. I don't know who he's talking to. I think that's Punit Shaw. That's the drummer. Oh, lots of cigars. And there they are. These are the guys that need to go to jail. These are the guys that are still living off the proceeds that they've earned from Goliath Ventures. These are the people that they need to charge for endorsing, running, profiteering. And look where they are, ladies and gentlemen. The Vault 2025 contracts. And who endorsed them? Well, Jonathan Mason, through his connection with Patrick Bet David, endorsed Christopher. And that's why he got to be named sponsor. You would think that Patrick Ben David's organisation would pay back that $1 million and put it into the Goliath Ventures estate to help reclaim other people. Now, I saw somebody in the chat room down there claiming that no one will ever get any money back from Goliath Ventures. And Howie, you're not really that positive today. You were a bit negative yesterday as well, just saying. But hey, why not say some positive stuff? Surely the government wouldn't put receivers on the case if they didn't think there was a chance of recovering some money back for investors. They didn't repo 12 cars, 8 houses. What else did they repo? And recover funds. They've already recovered at least $300,000 from Orlando Economic Business Partners organisation, and also they managed to recover some funds from WebMD. So there is some money there. I mean, no one's going to be made whole. But to get in a chat room and yell in the top of your voice that no one's going to get any money back is literally like throwing your toys out of the cot. But anyway, these are the co-conspirators, and these are the people that I believe that should be held accountable for their association by endorsing Christopher, by promoting Christopher, by ignoring the warning signs. Okay, that's Goliath Ventures. Anyway, let's get back to Chris. What else are you going to tell us, Chris, that we don't already know?
An extortion attempt.
An extortion attempt.
The person goes to insult me personally and make a whole bunch of claims.
The same number?
Different number.
Okay.
Still Canadian, but different number. This person makes a bunch of claims against me on my personal life, which are completely untrue.
Oh, really?
He then proceeds to attack 4 other people, a part of our team, 3 directors and Nick Petrillo. and then demands $2 million in crypto.
Oh my God, it's just a recovery scammer, Chris. That's all. I'd love to know who it was. I mean, it's just batshit crazy that he's even putting this out there.
Sent to a anonymous wallet.
Okay, and I bet you if he did that, he would ask for more money, right, Chris? We see these sort of extortion attempts all the time. What a crack up. Wonder who he's alleging this is.
This is the same thing. This is the same time the stuff that's in New Zealand is happening too.
Hey, we got mentioned the same time as the New Zealand stuff. So let me get this right. I'm exposing Christopher as a scammer, and he's now pleaded guilty as being a scammer. And at the same time I'm exposing it, other people are always trying to get in and profiteer. Maybe I should have asked him. And remember, we have got proof that he's offered me $150,000 to remove my videos. $150,000 was offered to me. We've got the documents from their lawyers claiming that they would entertain $150,000 payout if I named the person they believed was bankrolling me and removed my videos and wrote a Dear John letter basically saying I was a misled journalist. And at the same time, they're alleging they had an extortion attempt where the person wanted $2 million. And not only that, they staked out my neighbourhood, found out where I lived, knocked on my door, and wanted to offer me a better deal but wouldn't let me record it. And now they're claiming that they are a victim. This is, I literally haven't listened to this.
So I call an emergency team meeting, and I'm just honest with the team.
And I had people in those meetings telling me that they wanted to knock me off. Honestly, that's what I heard. We had people that were in those meetings and they were telling that they wanted to knock me off because at the same time they were running that meeting, that guy got assassinated in the street. And they said, we need to get the same thing happened to Danny who was writing my articles. So, we've got...
said everyone's aware of what's happening in New Zealand. Now we have this. And I wanted to inform our investors. I wanted to send an email out and just say, everything you're seeing on the media right now is nothing short than an extortion.
Oh my God.
Here's the evidence.
What a load of crack. I mean, I've just put the link on the stage, sorry. If anyone wants to come on stage and talk, you're more than welcome. I don't know why I didn't actually have that, but this is actually I've literally, even though I've wrote a book about these transcripts, I haven't actually listened to this video because I have a life as well. But the fact is that they were telling people that they were having extortion attempts, and also they were trying to link that together with my journalism is actually batshit crazy. I mean, you can see what they would, from my perspective, being an investigator, what I'm seeing is they're actually trying to say that everyone's attacking them because they're doing so well. That's what's probably going to come out of his mouth. No, I have not listened to this part of the transcript. I listened to this while I was half asleep in bed. But I'm absolutely amazed that they had an extortion attempt and it just happened to coincide at the same time that I was releasing articles exposing this company. It is absolutely incredible even to listen to this.
Even putting the personal details that they put in that text about me.
Maybe
Nick proposed that we put it to a team vote because it affected everyone. And so we put it to a team vote and everyone but one person said, don't inform your investors. And
I can't believe this. So this is why they didn't notify the investors that their company was going under. Is that what he's trying to admit?
So
Who was that?
the person that said we should have, I don't remember which director it was. I just know it was
one person said nay,
and then myself.
Bullshit.
I was tired of being quiet. I was tired that people thought that they could throw these threats against me or my company and get away with it.
Because at this point...
And get away with it.
And we're talking 2025, you still haven't told a single investor that their money has not been invested.
Correct. But we're still making distributions.
Oh my God. I can't, I'm sorry this is a reaction video, but I'm just listening to what he just said. She just asked him a very good question. So you haven't notified any of your investors that you are not investing their money in Goliath Ventures? And he goes, but we're still paying dividends. Where's that dividend money coming from? So remember this, NLP white label service that he was using only lasted 3 months. And then there was no income. All what they're doing is taking in money and paying out dividends and giving rewards to the people who keep bringing the money in. I'm speechless. And now she's asked that question, but you haven't told any of the investors that you've got no way of generating any returns. No, but we're still paying dividends. So we're calming the farm. Unreal, absolutely unreal.
Even though we were still having this media attack.
Media
So
attack.
did you pay the extortion?
No.
How much did they want?
They wanted $2 million in crypto. And they wanted it paid by 7 p.m.
Bullshit. Bullshit meter. Bullshit. Show us the correspondence. Let him put this on TV. You published this? No wonder you redacted this video by 35 minutes.
Day. Or they were going to release information and pictures and stuff about me on the internet.
What?
The reason why I basically tell them they can go kick rocks is because I know there's no such things out there. I don't do drugs. The only bad thing that I do is drink. And I like to social drink. I don't, what they...
Okay. These could have been the photos we're about to release. We've got Christopher and Mick and Oz having a good time. Lots of parties. There's Romy, Alexander Brothers. You may have heard of them doing heinous acts to women. Yes, raping women are now in jail. I think they're in jail. But anyway, they're two famous realtors. And the guy in the middle there, well, he's a man about town in Orlando, owns a whole lot of restaurants. Same guy that you'll find in airplanes with Christopher. The bottle spinning guy. Oh, that's where they were knocking on the door, getting all those paperworks. There's your mate. Here's your cars. These were not, we never ever did an extortion video. Here they are, Christopher. There he is outside with his ankle bracelet on in the house just a wee while ago. This is the other guy I was talking about just a minute ago who must sell insurance of some sort, not that he's connected. Apparently that's some guy in the leather jacket with the cigar, somebody famous. We know Sanjay very well. This was the goat marketing company that Christopher had. What else we got here for you? The famous photo that shows their connection with NLP people. Here's a goodie, eh? Here's if your friends aren't discussing success, stocks, crypto, business, and giving you positive encouragement, you're in the wrong circle. And this was when they were at the Vault 2025 conference, and we were doing quite a heavy marketing campaign, and they were going out doing drinkies, and that's Christopher in the background if you can't see that. Some charity days with your frosted tips, as CoffeeZilla would say. We've got quite a lot of other stuff here. I don't know where this is, but you got the lineup here: Patrick Ben David, Jonathan Mason, Nick Petrillo. Don't know these two on the end. Punit Shaw. Then we've got them in the Vault conference. We've got the booth outside the conference. That's his girlfriend to be. We did a welfare check on her because we heard rumours. Correspondence from ex-girlfriends. This was Container Day. They had a concept container from a company called Maze Mining. We heard yesterday that Christopher claims that he owns 30% of that company. The concept container was only a concept. They had everything ready to go, but it never got off the ground. This is Christopher before he got a mummy tuck. There's the goat marketing that we heard about. Here he is, other photos, other people. I can't read the names on those top, but maybe that's somebody famous, I don't know. And this is Christopher after saying in a video a couple of days ago that he doesn't do any posing for media stuff. And there's Christopher, who hasn't got a squirmish tummy, but he just had the life sucked out of him with his mummy tuck. And then we've got, but these aren't the photos he's talking about. They are the containers, though. That's the concept container. Everyone was looking, they were still trying to find investors. Here he is, photos with the president. I got it tidied up with AI. Isn't that pretty clever? What do you call it? Kalpesh Patel. This is him being videoed when he was trying to keep the ball rolling. We've got Gary Rice doing a video that they put all over their social media. And there's the real photo, and there's the enhanced version. And there he is. He paid, we believe, $30,000 to be standing next to Jason Padrillo in the concert before. They did the Wyoming $9 million spend. Other charities, Kids Beating Cancer. I think that's Sam from memory. This is Lord Delgado, an image that he used quite a lot. That's the family he's thrown into the trash. He's telling you he's a family man. He loves his family. He's a good father. Well, he just threw his whole family into the bin there. That's AI generated with me. That's the real photo of him outside the White House. That's AI generated. I was trying to get a better version of the photo. That's been enhanced by AI. You can see it doesn't quite look like him. There's his boyfriend, Mr. Tomo. And there he is in different photos, Ron DeSantis, and there's the men. So there you go, some extra stuff there you may have not seen yet. If you haven't been following us, we've showed those before, but let's get back into it. So now the extortion attempt. This is the best thing I've ever heard. This is so funny.
Accuse me of is that I abuse women.
I abuse women.
I was married for 12 years. I was with my wife for 14.
Abuse woman. So we received intel from Ty's inner circle, and they were asking why she was covered in bruises. And then we investigated it. We contacted Ty's mother, who was a specialist in that industry, believe it or not, who helped battered women. And we asked them to do a welfare check. If he's insinuating that was coming from us. We had no proof. We just had, and she said they were just doing rough sex. Ooh. So there was obviously, she was battered. And it was her friends that reached out and to us, concerned about her welfare. And even now she's living with her. We've heard that she's trying to get out of the house. So the fact that he's even turned this into something else, or if this is all fabricated, which I do believe it is actually batshit crazy. But just listening to this bullshit, and this is what we're saying, guys, to me, this is all fabricated. I would be asking for evidence of everything he says in this video. Because at the moment, he's claiming that someone held Goliath Ventures extortion attempt up to $2 million. And what are they going to do? If you don't do it, I'm going to release photos of stuff that you've never done before. So the photos are going to prove that, Christopher did drugs? No, because Christopher just said he's never done drugs. So there's no evidence out there of Christopher doing any wrongdoing. So he's got nothing to worry about. But instead, let's make out they had an extortion attempt. I mean, what do they know about the company that would have crippled them? I don't know if I explained that right, but am I batshit crazy? Or what am I missing here?
I had never hit her. I yelled at her one time in our whole relationship, and that's because
got the wrong
she
handbag?
disrespected my mom in front of me. And then immediately apologized for raising my voice at her.
What about Kat, Chris? Your former girlfriend. You accused her father of stealing your watch, or one of your watch collection, and that's why you broke up. And I think there was even some sort of, so maybe was that the other girlfriend you were not happy with? Because her father theoretically stole your watch.
Never once have ever lifted my hand towards a woman. Okay. And if I am an abuser, I think the woman that I was with for 14 years could attest. This is someone who's an abuser just doesn't pick that up one day. It's a
habit. That got cut, not me. So let's stop it there. Let's cut that out. She probably asked him, we've got evidence or something. I don't know.
Do you have Verizon or?
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Must be after lunch.
Service is terrible.
Yeah, because they're switching it over, so all the internet in this area.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah, all the internet in this area is trash.
Well, they just cut a big segment out of that, and that was not me.
It's a shame for people to be in these big old houses with terrible internet service.
Crazy.
All right, so tell me your first and last name again and who you are.
Oh, what happened to you? We're starting again.
I'm Chris Delgado, the former CEO of Goliath Ventures.
So I want to revisit a couple of things from yesterday, just so I have clarity.
Hold on a minute. We're just going to go back. There might be a reason why they cut the video 30 minutes. So I'm just going to go back, right? And we're going to go to the start of this again. Did they put the same stuff on here twice? So we're going to go back to here. Let's go here, 2 minutes in.
The contract agreements, like who developed, who wrote those?
All right, so now we go forward to 32 where we were. And we started again.
I don't do drugs. The only bad thing that I do is drink.
Okay.
And I like to social.
Okay, 32. Sorry, guys. So is this a different
So I want to
camera
revisit a
cut?
couple of things from yesterday, just so I have clarity.
I think we have. So we might be doubling up, hence why they might have cut this out. So I'm guessing this is a different camera angle, and they've kept the clip all together. That's pretty sloppy, really, isn't it? I'm not criticizing two cameras, but they put 5 videos of 5.5 hours of footage on the internet on a very sensitive Goliath Ventures investigation, and didn't even go through the videos and check that they hadn't doubled up. So if I doubled the length of this video, it would be 1 hour and 5 minutes. The video is 1 hour, 15 minutes long. So we may get a double up here. I'm not going to play it if so. Also, my transcript will pick that up. But I'm just saying there must be still 10 minutes of this video that's not already done. So what we're going to do is listen to it for a wee while, make sure we are getting a double up, go to the end and see what other footage there is. Does that make sense?
The contract agreements, like who developed, who wrote those?
Yeah, originally the agreements were mirrored after MLP because we were originally white labeling their fund. And we had already had people invested in MLP. So we wanted to make sure that our agreements kind of read similar to theirs. It wasn't until later on where, securities questions started getting, they started getting brought up and potential issues with the SEC. And that's when we went to different law firms to have our agreements reviewed and restructured.
I know what MLP is, but what is MLP?
MLP is My Liquidity Partner. They were a crypto liquidity fund that a lot of people were invested in.
I think it's
kind of like we discussed before. How MLP took off was everyone in crypto was involved. Everyone in crypto was invested in this company.
I wasn't.
So kind of gave it the golden stamp of approval. If every crypto person is investing in this company, it
like the latest scam.
And even to this day, we don't really know if MLP was a Ponzi scheme or if it truly was negligence on behalf of the fund manager because he was running the whole fund through his personal wallets. It's kind of been one of those things.
Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do here, kids, because I'm pretty sure it is. I'm just going to use, hopefully AI is working again. We're going to do something clever here. Let's go to, right, yeah, let's see. Yep, it is working. So I'm going to go to Goliath Ventures. We're going to go to, 1 minute, please, call. I'll just get ourselves ready for this. We're going to go to here. That might explain why they've cut out half that stuff. Memoirs. There we go. All right, now we'll just get rid of that so we don't incriminate anybody and we're all good. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come here and we're going to chuck in the transcript I've got. YouTube, FWTV, covers, where is it? Shorts. Got to find it now. Hold on 1 minute, please. I've got to think about this. It gets quite tricky when you do it like this. Transcripts. Here we are. Transcripts. 1, 2, 3. So this is 3. All right. Right. Can you please? This video is 1 hour, 15 minutes long. And we've just had it removed off the internet by Channel 9 News. The new video is 31 minutes long. And we're now long. 31 minutes long. Yeah. I think they didn't edit the video. And we have a video of 2 different video angles. I just want to check that the transcript is the same. Have they repeated the same transcript twice? What timestamp does it go back to normal conversation? I don't know if that makes sense, but let's see. Okay, so we've got searching. Hopefully that works. Whoops, what happened there? Oh, there we go. Extracting the PDF. Let's see what we got. Now, sorry, I'm not keeping up with the messages on the screen, but they are behind my head. If you are trying to capture those, by all means, stop. I'm on stage. I am the stage. Good on you there. I'm reading 2 different chat boxes. If you don't know how I got it set up here on my left, over here, I have a screen that shows me my live broadcast. And then on the other side, I have the video of Chris. And then I have a chat box over here. I have 2 chat boxes. One's live, and the other one, I control what comes up on the screen by ticking the buttons. You see I scroll through it here now. The other one you can't see. But I'm just having a wee look. I'm quite enjoying our conversation today, Howie. Hope it's got a bit more exciting, but we may actually have a bit of a understanding why they actually only put 31 minutes of that video back online. But there's still some pretty damning stuff in there. But just because you accidentally didn't edit the videos, you wouldn't remove all 5 videos. You think you would actually remove video 3, 4, and 5 because video 1 and 2 were exactly the same. And yeah, interesting. All right, we're trying to catch up to the box here. Have we got? Alrighty, okay. There we go. So here's what we've got back from ChatGPT. Thank goodness we've got ChatGPT in our lives and it's back online. Let's have a listen.
Yes, I can confirm there is a duplicated section in this transcript. The second camera angle starts at open quote. All right, so tell me your first and last name again. Close quote. This is effectively the same interview, restarting from the beginning, just from a different video angle. I compared the opening dialogue, original interview begins. The interview restarts with the same questions. Tell me your first and last name again. MLP discussion. Contract agreements. Same sequence of questions and answers.
All right.
Where does it return to new material? The duplicated portion.
Brilliant. All right. Well, sorry about that, guys. I didn't do my homework very well. Poor journalist. Got to have a life sometime. We've still got messages coming into the chat. Richard's gone crazy. There are a few chats. He's ready to go. Let's go. So come on. If anyone wants to come on stage, there's a link. Susie's put the link in the chat room here. You can see it here. It will put you in the back. You don't have to come up on stage and have your camera on. You can put a bit of tape over your camera because I think it does actually ask you to connect your camera. Or just put your phone upside down on the table once you're in there. If you've got headphones, you'll be able to hear us, things like that. Yeah, but a lot of people come into our chat room, and we've had Jonathan Mason in our chat room before. We've also had Jason Newton in our chat room before, all yelling at us, telling us certain things. So that's why we like people to come on stage and put their name behind their comments. If you want to do that, you're more than welcome. And we're up to date. I can tell Danny itching for more people to get arrested. That, well, I don't know if, I don't even know how to say that. How do you know what sex is like for me? God, really? I actually don't like your banter because I think you're actually got a hidden agenda here. And I'll give my Avengers who have the right to kick you out of that chat room anytime they like, if they feel it's inappropriate what you're saying or what you're insinuating. We haven't got time for it anymore. We don't need the banter. If you want to say something constructive, help us with the investigations or find something that will help us help victims, then do it. But if you're going to sit here berating everything I say, I've already been vindicated enough. I don't need to justify what I say or prove our research because we have won the trophy. We have got the victory. We have already been vindicated more than a CoffeeZilla video. 4.2 million people have seen the truth. If Channel 9 News wants to play yo-yo with their videos, then it's ridiculous that they're even trying to compete with us. And if a national or whatever you call regional TV channel was really worried about trying to get clicks, and I'm not, then, it's just, you can't make this shit up. Anyway, let's get back into the last 10 minutes. Now we're going to have nothing to do with our time of Chris. We've found out that there's a different camera angle, and that may be the reason that the video got removed. Now, just for mathematicals, 31.45 times 31.35 is 63 minutes. There was still 12 minutes of video that had been redacted. So this last part may have been redacted. So we may see some stuff. And as I said, I never even heard about the extortion attempt before. So even though I'm listening to stuff now, didn't want to spend an hour and 15 of minutes of my life doing it. So let's get stuck into it and see what we've got here, eh?
Percent return on their investment. And so Nick would give that doctor the difference because Nick.
Hey, Howie, stop talking about the coffee guy. I've had enough of you. So I'm just going to put you in timeout for, let's go, 30 minutes. See you, mate. And let's go back and listen to, we'll just go to the tail end of this. So we'll go to 5:30. Here we go.
Then that doctor wants to bring in, the board of doctors that they're working or overseeing. Well, Nick would then offer them 0.5% or 1%. So those doctors that are coming in under the referral are getting a 5% or 4% return on their investment. And so Nick would give that doctor the difference because Nick always made his money off of 10.
10 or 12?
It would range. The parameters of either 10 or 12 depended on how much money was brought in that month and how well we did.
So
Here we go.
Where was the money coming from to give the doctors a return or even a kickback if the fund was frozen and investments weren't being made?
I mean, we had...
Why is that funny?
We had a lot of inflow. We had a lot of...
Oh, my God.
People investing in our company. So, I mean, essentially the money was coming from other investors.
You just described a Ponzi
Is it
scheme.
robbing Peter to pay Paul?
No, it's a Ponzi scheme.
At this point, yeah.
They're running Ponzi schemes,
At what
darling.
point did that stop?
It was too late. By the time our products were developed, our payouts were way too big. What we should have done is froze everything,
Really?
moved $60 million into our fund, and then
waited.
restructured. But at least the money was making money, and we could deal with the investor.
Yeah, but the honest truth of it is, there, guys, is they were hoping that $50 million investment was going to save them and bail them, and then they were going to restructure the company. Well, that $50 million investor never existed because he said yesterday that that guy had already invested, and we know how much he invested because I've been talking to him on the phone. He only said that so that they would release the money that he was hoping to get back because his whole family's business is now destroyed. This guy put millions of dollars into Goliath. He was from New York, and he was using the dividend money to pay the wages and keep his business going. So when he realized that the dividends had stopped and they were hyper compounding the money, his business and all his staff were basically, they had no money coming in. So he ruined this person's business. This guy was trying every strategy. On the 14th of September, we contacted that guy and told him that this was a Ponzi scheme. and he didn't believe it. He was going to have a conversation with us, never got around to it. And those conversations that you may see. So if we go back to here, the conversations of that individual, the $50 million investor, which I'm 99% sure we're talking about the same guy. If we come to my YouTube channel and you come down here enough, you will see those recordings talking to that individual on my YouTube channel. You just need to look out for a thumbnail where Jonathan Mason is talking. So I'll show you the whereabouts. Now, these videos, these recordings have been true. So Jonathan has been trying to get these recordings removed off the internet. They are secret recordings, right? If you come down to, you get the proper video, this one here, this was posted 3 months ago. Now, Jonathan alleged that Mark James was bankrolling me and that he picked me up at the airport in Orlando and they had a photographer taking the photo. So I generated that image. It's batshit crazy. But listen to this.
By the CPA, by the SEC attorneys, proof of funds, proof of concept, proof of return, everything's there. Quarterly meetings it's literally a hedge fund. Mm-hmm. So if you have some rich friends that want to make some real money on a regulated platform, I'm more than happy to get you in touch with my guy, Matt. 3.5% a month. It won't be anything like not your 5. To get money into that fund for people and use the profits from there to start paying people back. So I'm trying to raise money that people actually want to partake in a regulated fund. Regulated. They can see the wallets. They can see the fucking fidelity bond. They're going to see the attestations by the CPA, by the SEC attorneys, proof of funds, proof of concept, proof of return. Everything's there. Quarterly meetings it's literally a hedge fund. If you have some rich friends that want to make some real money on a regulated platform, I'm more than happy to get you in touch with my guy, Matt.
No, use the same clip
and
twice.
We can start helping these people get their funds out. Now, we can also make an arrangement if they want to help out and start helping other people get their funds out. Do shit, though. Like, I know there's a victim list. I don't know what that does. I talked to my attorney tonight. He's like, wait a little bit. Let me see what's going on. Because I know there's a specific...
So his attorney has an attorney called Claimant. What's his name? Eric Claimant. Eric Claimant wrote the contracts for Goliath and was an investor. And he helped get this guy off a drink driving charge. Now, this guy is Jonathan Mason's attorney. Can you see what's happening here, guys? All these guys are in bed together. So this guy is helping Jonathan Mason. And this guy, attorney, is Eric Claimant. And I've got video evidence of all that.
Link for that. I saw it on the web. Is that going to do anything? Because there used to be a fucking number on a claim, but it's best to have an attorney fucking do it. So I want my attorney to see what's going on. So let me get some clarity on that, what our best direction is. Remember, and Raul, I got over $7 million in there with the family. My brother's money, Moody's money, my dad's money. So understand, if I fucking knew anything, I would pull that shit out. It's a shit show, but here's what...
I'm in the same boat of you. We hear it all the time. All these Ponzi scheme guys are exactly the same. So in short, Jonathan Mason was telling the investor who invested millions of dollars, who had also told me that they were alleging that they were going to invest more money in the hope to get their money out. And he was under Jonathan Mason, and this is the recorded conversations, voice messages that he left the individual. And there's 17 minutes of this bullshit. In here, he claims that he's seen $1 billion worth of crypto locked up. And he's claiming that his mate Tomo, who's worked for the financial department and the police force for 12 years, knows all about financial fraud. He was claiming all the claims that he made have all been, all these conversations are total lies because Christopher's pleaded guilty in court.
What I'm working on, okay? I have no control over Goliath. I've made no decisions, no knowledge, nada. But all I can do is try to help those that really fucking need it. Because I know a lot of people need those funds.
So he's saying invest in Matt Burke's new Ponzi scheme, get 3.5% per month, not 5% like he was getting. because this guy was getting, hundreds of thousands per month because of how much he put in. And he said also, if you've got rich mates, we'll give you a backhander. Same shit, different day. And then we see Matt Burke's name appear on top of the Onyx Reserve. And then we find out that Jonathan Mason is connected to Patrick Ben-David. Patrick Ben-David owns the company, or did own the company, that Jonathan is working in at the moment, selling insurance. All these guys are in bed together. And I'm hoping there's some really good investigators out there or some good law enforcement, and we're going to see some amazing charges happen with all these criminals that are still doing this today. As I showed you today, the Onyx Reserves has sent out an email to people seeking investors, giving them 45 days to act. These guys aren't stopping. We're not stopping. We're going to name and shame these guys. They're all in the same bucket of poo together.
What's the process of getting the funds out? Is Chris going to be given a slap on the wrist? Is this going to be disproven? Is this a bunch of bullshit? Are they fucking really trying to put him in a corner? Like, what's really going on? So we need to get some answers, not just the accusations. I'm going to speak with the attorneys tomorrow. I'll get some updates from them. I will let everybody know. But right now, everyone can take a deep breath. Again, wallets are there. Chad looked at them literally 20 minutes ago, half an hour now. And we're just waiting to get some answers as far as what's going on with the case. But if you look at what I sent you in that link, there's a lot of holes in the affidavit. Things just don't make sense. All right.
Hey, brother. I want to get you on the phone with my buddy Tomo, who has been with Goliath, but he's also 12 years retired law enforcement. Did a lot of federal stuff, knows the ins and outs of this, and a lot of experience. I had him talk to Christian last night. He has a much better idea, feels much better about the situation. Media's blowing the shit up, but I want you to hear it from them that have experience in this to give you a little bit more of a peace of mind of what's really going on, and we can find a solution to everything. So give me a little bit. Just obviously, every phone call I'm making is 20, 30 minutes. I'm only talking to 1 to 2 people an hour. I'm just trying to get to everybody. So didn't forget you. Thank you for your patience and understanding with what's going on. I'm just working to figure out a solution to everything. Hey, bud, I'm at my office for a couple hours, so sit tight. I'll reach out. Give me about 3 hours. I want you to meet Tomo. Again, like I said, he's got experience in these matters. It'll make a lot more sense. Everything's work out fine, buddy.
You see what's happening here, guys?
Hey, bud. We can hop on a call later. I want you to talk to my guy, Tomo. Tomo's got 12 years in law enforcement, worked with federal agencies, and I just got off the phone with 2 of my FBI buddies. And one of their friends is also a big U.S. Marshal. I think he's like ranked number 3 in the country.
U.S. Marshal, ranked number 3 on the table. Remember when you walked into Chris's desk and he had the FBI hat on the desk? Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe you do have FBI buddies, Chris. How's that working out for you now?
All they're saying is it's a bunch of bullshit. Very weak charges. They probably got him on being lazy, moving some money he shouldn't have. But other than that, no one sees it.
So he's pleaded guilty now, Jonathan Mason. And he's pleaded guilty to 50 years in jail. That's what he's down for. So misdemeanor charges?
Ponzi or anything like that. As far
Joel
as where
Manson?
the money is,
What's that?
there's guys that have actually eyes on the wallets. And they have their money in there. So they're seeing the wallets. I can go over that with you later. But Tomo's probably one of the best people as far as credibility and understanding how this stuff works on processes and how soon we'll get everything returned and all squared away. So sorry, it's just been hectic trying to answer everyone's calls and trying to get back to everybody. You can imagine the phone has been nonstop. But more than happy to hop on a call later if you guys are around.
Gets better.
So Tomo comes from 12 years of law enforcement. His really good friend's also U.S.
So these are voice messages. He's rung up the investor. The investor is too busy to take the phone, and he leaves repeated voice messages over and over again. Keep on going on about talk to Tomo, talk to Tomo. Are you telling me that Tomo is not a co-conspirator?
Marshall, they both looked at the case. They said this is weak, a lot of BS. Plus, my 2 other FBI buddies looked at it and said the same thing. Tomo has people that actually have eyes on the fund. He sees the wallets. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. So he'll give you a better clarification, understanding about everything, and it'll make more sense. Just don't let the media scare you. But let's talk tonight. It'll be midday for you, and then we'll come up with a game plan.
Game plan. You can't make this shit up.
Listen, my buddy Wayne, who works for the FBI, he was just at the house laughing at the shit. Please stop believing all these fucking articles, because I just spoke with compliance. They actually have a copy of the actual signed copy of the fidelity bond.
So compliance is Matt Burke, you know, the guy that started up a company called My Black Block, not My Black Rock, My Black Block. No, not Black Block, My Black Block. Yeah. You know, this is Matt Burke he's talking about.
That was in place. Alston Bird has their opinion letter, which is the SEC attorneys that reviewed and approved everything. So there's stuff that these guys aren't showing. So we can hop on a call later. Tomo's available tonight, by the way. I spoke with him earlier. So if you want to hop on a call later, we can. So stop reading all these articles. You're scaring yourself.
Don't scare yourself. Don't read my articles, guys.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of that. That's either getting 100% dismissed or I'm going to be countersuing because everything they're trying to state, we actually have documentation and proof. So I'm not worried about that. Yes, I'm aware of that.
100% countersuing. We have documents and proof. I mean, this is what Jonathan's telling investors, who is also asking to reinvest to trade their way out of the disaster they've got into. These guys are Ponzi scheme promoters. And there was no fidelity bond.
They are so full of shit. I can't disclose it because it's an active lawsuit. But if they don't dismiss, they're the ones going down. It's going to be fucking hilarious.
Well, it's fucking hilarious now, isn't it, Joel Manson? I mean, really? Fucking hilarious? Oh, who's laughing?
Hey, brother, honestly, I'm just fucking drained of phone calls, man. I'm turning my fucking phone off. I have no answers, no fucking clue. Here's what I know. That the SEC attorneys from Alston and Bird approved everything. And there's emails and documentations. That flow chart and the affidavit, that's SEC approved. We have a copy of the actual fidelity bond that was in place by Realm Insurance. We have the signature.
As Susie said, there was no fidelity bond. This was just fabricated bullshit.
The actual policy. Matt Burks even spoke with the agent and said, you never show this to people because they know how much they can sue you for. That's why it was never shown. We have a copy of that. And now you can't show it to anybody because of the lawsuit. There was too many eyes on the wallets, bro. They still see the wallets. People looked at everything. They saw Chris log in. I mean, you saw Chris log in front of Raul to the wallets and confirm it with Etherscan. Bro, you saw it with your own two eyes. Twice. He did it in front of Danny, and then he did it in front of Raul.
Not me.
You've seen it. Those are the wallets.
He doesn't know what an exchange wallet is. And look, here are the wallets, and we can see the money. We can see that Christopher's wallet address, his own personal one with his own NFT attached to it. You know, we've got more intel than you can poke a stick at. Look, I still quite like listening to these, so I hope you do as well.
And then I also learned today that you can't actually send Coinbase a centralized to Uniswap DeFi. You have to go to cold storage and then send it. There's a lot of things about crypto that we don't know.
Cold storage wallets doesn't mean you can't see it either, by the way. It just means it can't be moved or something. So it's not like you can take parts of the blockchain off or hide a transaction or where the money went. It's kind of like driving down the road and being told to turn right and go 200 meters. Even though you might park the car and put it in concrete, it doesn't mean we don't know where the money went.
When I know that I don't know. So it's like interesting shit. I don't think this is to be a Ponzi, bro. I think Chris fucked up and he didn't disclose things. So he used his business money for personal, and that's a no-no in the SEC's eyes. That's a no-no, and that's what they're trying to get him for. But that's why, dude, one count of wire fraud and one count of money laundering because he bought two houses. He's got fucking 20 cars, 50 watches, but all they got him on those.
50 watches, 20 houses, or 20 cars. Is that right?
Two fucking things. It doesn't make sense, bro. And the company's paid out so much money every single month. It paid so
from My Liquidity Partners going by Chris, but then My Liquidity Partners were only working for 3 months. This scam's been going on for 3 years.
much more out than it brought in. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Why would he hire Joel Glick to do forensic consulting services, which are audits on steroids, in September? That was confirmed in November when all the shit was going down that he was hired and retained. Joel.
The name never turned up anywhere. There was no audit. There was no audit report, more importantly. I mean, this is just bullshit.
Never finished the job. That's why they deposited, because Chris knew that he was being investigated, didn't fucking tell us, knew the wallets were locked by the IRS, didn't fucking tell us. So, yeah, Chris fucking lied to us. And, dude, this fucking guy was at Tampa Gasparillo. Then the next week or two, he was at Mardi Gras. This guy's at the fucking Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Raul calls me. He's like, yeah, what is Chris doing in New Orleans? What are you talking about? Yeah, he's at Mardi Gras. He wants me to come meet him. He fucking called Raul to meet him at Mardi Gras. The guy flies back Monday night, spends the night with his kids, drives his Rolls Royce to the fucking Federal Building Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, drives his ass home in the same Rolls Royce. There was no handcuffs. There's no cops at his door. There was no raid. Dude, this was all orchestrated, this fucking thing. So when you ask me, why do I think there's a deal cut? What do you think that looked like to me? Chris knew this was going down. And then we get fucking this situation with all these calls and back and forth. So yeah, that's what makes me think that. As far as the time frame for money back, I have no idea. But every expert I talk to, my buddy Tomo, all my FBI buddies, his buddy, the U.S. Marshal guys, like, it's going to take a couple months. What do you expect?
Couple of months.
The investigation's ongoing. They'd start the receivership. They're going to go through the list. They have the KYCs. They have everything. So that's why I think, again, that's my common sense and from the experts that are telling me, and that's what I know. So I'm taking a deep breath, but I just can't talk on the phone anymore, saying the same thing over and over again. It's just fucking too much.
That was a voice message, by the way.
Guys, at the end of the day,
the
more we try to guess and wonder, we're going to drive ourselves fucking nuts. So right now, it's in the hands of who knows what. I've learned that you can't even send fucking Coinbase to Uniswap because it's centralized the DeFi. You have to go to different wallets. It's like there's so many things that we don't understand or know. So I'm learning stuff, but I'm not getting freaked out. The more I'm seeing, it's just like one count. Like, give me a fucking break. This looks like a personal attack. I mean, Raul, Chris Delgado fucking called you to say, come meet me in New Orleans to party in Mardi Gras. And he knew that he was going in to see them on Tuesday. Like, he's that confident. Like, doesn't make sense, bro. And then he drove his freaking Rolls Royce to them and then drove home. He was never even in handcuffs.
Ankle bracelet on, though.
Yeah, but no, Tomo doesn't have access, but Nick Petrillo, who's the former COO, who can't stand fucking Chris, he's got over 20 million plus, almost 25 plus, in there, and he has intimate access. He can view all 6 wallets. And all 6 wallets he sees for himself have over $1 billion. And then a guy named Chad.
So there he was claiming that Nick Petrillo can see $1 billion worth of funds in a wallet. Isn't that crazy? And as Susie just said in the chat room, train wreck. Total train wreck. This is them. Private phone calls going back and forth to investors. I mean, this is the most disgusting 17 minutes I listened to. A guy that's lost millions. Christopher is over here on my other screen talking about how he had a $50 million investor that was going to make them restructure the company to keep the illusion going longer. When I know the guy that Jonathan's talking to is the same investor. This guy Jonathan's talking to is in New York. And he's just realized he's lost everything, his business, the whole 9 yards he was running his business from. And this is the shit that you get from these co-conspirators. We're not going to stop. Jonathan Mason is telling lies, making claims that he can't back up. And then he's working with the worst of the worst. He's claiming that Tomo, he's working with the FBI. And there's somebody else he was working with as well, Patrick Ben David. No, well, what I mean by that is Patrick Ben David is endorsing Jonathan as an insurance guy. They're all doing the same shit, I reckon. That's my
Chad
opinion.
has access to 4 wallets. He actually works with the family offices. He can see all of them, again, view only, and just 4 of the wallets have over 800 million. And that's what I was saying. One wallet has 250, one has 3. So all 4 add up to about 800 million. So these guys have no reason to make that up. It's their freaking money in the fund. So yes, they have the active address, and they see the money moving. It's up and down, up and down. So
it's an exchange wallet, you idiot. And if this was the case, then where did that money come from? And by Chris's own admission, they were moving money and put it into My Liquidity Partners for 3 months only. The rest of it was using new investor money to pay old investors, a Ponzi scheme.
Active wallets moving. And Chad also verified that at least one of those wallets was what's been used to pay out his people. So he knows it's a Goliath wallet. So I'm having a more of a relaxed day. because as long as I hear that from them, I get it. But if the fucking IRS is controlling it, fine. IRS is controlling it. We're getting confirmation that there's eyes on the wallet. The compliance guys are even saying there's more money been paid out than ever brought in, and they can't prove a Ponzi is conspiracy to defraud or scheme to defraud. He's not being charged with that. He's being charged with one count of money laundering and one count of wire fraud. That's what the affidavit said. One guy at the bottom of the complaint says he put in $15 million and he took out $17.6 million. How do you make money on a Ponzi? And you're complaining about that? Makes zero sense. The math doesn't math. There's been too much money paid out than ever brought in, plus the money. It's a bunch of shit. Again, Tomo, coming from the federal world, from the legal world, the law world, he'll explain it much better than I can. So just want to take what I just told you and take a deep breath today, get some work done. I already talked to Tomo. He's doing the same thing I'm doing, making calls. But he's still working. He's got some things going on. But he'll be free around 7 o'clock tonight. So that's what, 4 o'clock your time. So I'll get him on the call around that time. As long as he's free, so just be ready to hop on a call. Hey, bud, check your spam. I'll see what was sent. Because remember, I don't have access to that email anymore, but I can see what my assistant may have. But let me know what you need, because I also have a different spreadsheet that can help with that, but it won't be a statement. And again, those statements are the one they're trying to disprove, because again, that was also manual updates. But the more and more I'm seeing this shit, I'm thinking this is a personal attack. Chris is very confident. He paid everybody from 2023 every single month, no matter what, good times, bad times, even Black Swan events. And then it's all started in November. The guy freaking hired Joe Blick to do a forensic consultation. That was confirmed in November. You don't hire someone like that to audit your books. Like if you're pulling some kind of shady shit. I think after all the stuff he purchased, all that is going on, they got him on one count. It just doesn't add up. So I think he's going to get past this. He's probably going to pay some fines and whatnot if they get him on that charge. And then
no, he's not going to pay some fines. Hey, look, I've got Tomo's number here. I've got a number where he won't know it's me calling. I'm just going to ring up Tomo and see whether he answers his phone. Let's go, eh? Here we go. Wish me luck. I'm going to call him from a Washington, D.C. number.
Please wait while we connect your phone call.
Here we go.
Please wait while we connect your phone call.
The software I use crashes sometimes, but let's see what happens. G'day, is that you, Tomo? Tomo? Can't actually hear you. Are you there? Tomo? Speak to me. You know you want it. I can't actually hear you. Use your words. Maybe it went to your answer machine. If so, this is Danny DeHeck. How you doing, mate? I'll give you another ring back in case we've got a bad line. Wouldn't mind asking you a couple of questions, especially about these recordings that we're listening to with your mate Jonathan Mason. Are you there? All right, let's just try it again, because I wouldn't mind seeing if we get him. Anyway, what did seem to happen is, I've done this before, it did seem like the phone was answered, but no one was speaking. So let's just try it one more time, and this time we'll ring up from a different number again, just in case there was a problem. This time we'll ring up from one of his buddies in Florida.
Please wait while we connect your phone call.
That's why I'm ringing Tomo.
Please wait
Here we go.
while we connect your phone call.
We'll go back to Chris after this. I'd love to hear from Tomo. Cool, it ended. Oh, come on, Tomo. Let's ring him back on the other number one more time.
Please wait while we connect your phone call.
So it's obviously been hung up on. Sorry about my music. Can't fix it.
Please wait while we connect your phone call.
No, hanging up straight away. Crazy. Interesting, isn't it? All right, so we would be worthwhile ringing up Jonathan though, wouldn't it? Let's see if we can bring up Jonathan. If you want their phone numbers, you can actually find all their phone numbers on my website under Goliath. I've actually put the full telephone directory of everybody. Let's have a look. Jonathan, Jonathan Mason, isn't it? Mason. Maybe I'll just search for Mason. I might be able to find it. Mason. Jonathan Mason. Here we go. Yep, I got the phone number there. Right, so let's just see. I'd love to talk to Jonathan. But as I said, if you want their phone numbers, go to my website, theheat.com, click on Goliath, and they're all at the top. All right, this could be fun. Let's go. We're ringing from a Florida phone number, so he feels at home.
Please wait while we connect your phone call.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Alex Bianco. Oh, that's hopeless. I'm just going to do that again. Must be Google Voice, is it? Is that what that is? I'm going to ring now from I'll ring from a
Please
Washington,
wait
D.C. number.
while we connect your phone call.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Alex Bianco Insurance.
Thanks. Please stay on the line.
Oh, here we go. I could ring up Mike. And we'll go back to the show. Oh, and they hang up. Well, they hang up where it disconnects. Okay, so you want me to ring up? I don't know if Mike's phone number actually works, but I'll give it a go. Mike. I'm just going to use my normal phone and let's see if we can ring up these guys. There we go. Let's see if Mike's phone's actually working. You're talking about Mike Krzyzewski? See if he works. Mike?
I've reached the voicemail of Michael Snowski. Please leave a detailed message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
G'day. Is that True Money Mike? G'day. Is that True Money Mike? How you doing? How's your Instagram campaign? Are you famous yet? Danny DeHeck here. Would love to speak to you. Why don't you ring up and do us an interview? You have to come back to Canada soon, won't you? To get your 6 monthly stamp on your passport. Are you a bit nervous about coming into customs? Just asking. Anyway, hope you're having a good time in Dubai. And love your Instagram feed, mate. You're going to become somebody soon. Oh, look, it would be rude not to ring up a few people, wouldn't it? Who else could we? Should we ring up Chris? Should we see if we can ring up Chris? Because that would be a bit of a funny one, wouldn't it? He's the real man about the moment. Let's. I'll just find my directory of Goliath Ventures. Well, let's ring up Alex and see if he wants to talk to me. I'll ring up Alex Bianco first because he was A at the top of the list. I think we can ring up from a Florida number. Might be better for Alex. They're probably out.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
It's all right, mate. Just your friendly friend from New Zealand would just like to know how you're getting on after all the sagas of, what do you call it? Your mate, Chris. All right, let's ring him up. Let's see if we can ring him. We'll ring him up from Florida. We're ringing him up again.
Please wait while we connect your phone call.
We'll ring up Chris next. Come on, Alex. You know you want to. Don't even know how to say it. Hello, mate. Danny here.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach.
All right, let's ring up Chris. Let's go for the big one, eh? We'll do a phone. It's got a Dubai number. Should we ring him on his Dubai number or his American number? Because he doesn't know we know the Dubai number. We just know everything. See if Chris is still got a phone. It might be monitored by the FBI. I'll go, oh, hi, John. Danny here. Come on, Chris. I used to ring up and sing happy birthday to him. They used to keep the recordings.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Yeah, g'day, Chris. Danny D. Hick here. I think you know who I am. Wouldn't mind an interview. What do you reckon? Be quite cool. Ringing you live at the moment. We're just playing video 3 of Darlene Jones' investigations. She's brilliant at investigating you. Didn't know you had an extortion attempt for $2 million. I'd love to know more about that. We might actually be able to investigate actually who was doing that if you give us a little bit more knowledge about it. Love to help you with that one. All right, I'll ring you on your. I'm going to ring your other phone number now. I say let's ring him on Dubai. Dubai's that one, I think. Dubai start with 971. Does let's see if this rings because I know he's got 2 phone numbers. Never rang Dubai before, have I? Oh, I haven't got Nick's Dubai number, have I? I might do. Let's see if this goes through. I reckon he got rid of this phone because no one knew about this phone number. Yeah, no, that didn't work. So that's interesting. All right, so who else can we ring? Well, Casey Holiday. I've got him here. Might as well ring him up. See what he. Now, I think I'm better off having a ringing these guys on American number, aren't I? Because they won't know who's ringing, and if they're not watching the videos. Of course, they wouldn't be watching my videos. So let's just see what. So what do we know about Casey Holiday? Is it Holiday? I think I got that right. Just get that number right. It was just good to ask him if he's got any news about what's happening with Chris. And then we'll go back after Casey Holiday.
Please wait while we connect your phone call.
Could ring up David.
4 2 5 6 7 9 1 0 6 2 is not available.
G'day, Casey. How you doing? It's Danny D. Hick here. I was wondering if you'd be open to having an interview about Christopher Delgado. If so, give us a ring back or just go to dehick.com. We'd love to talk to you. What about David? Have you called Joseph or haven't you? I don't know. Well, not on that number. That would be quite cool. I might have done. So now we've got David Kromskinski, which is Mike's brother. I think it'd be worthwhile ringing him. Hey guys, we'll get back to the video. Well, maybe I should finish the video first. Maybe we should just finish off this video before I start doing all these phone calls. Let's get back to Chris. So we have actually got another 7 minutes of Chris.
We were just riding on our reputation of always making distributions on time, if not early.
That is exactly how all Ponzi schemes work. That's the biggest obstacle I have as an investigative reporter trying to expose these people running scams. They judge it all by getting the payments. As long as they keep the payments coming in, no one's going to question it. And in fact, Chris said himself, no one even questioned the contracts, didn't want to audit done. They didn't want to know anything about the company because the money was still coming in. No one wants to know where their principal is. And that is ridiculous, but it's true. So as long as they could keep the money coming in, no one's going to question them. And that's what the problem was in October when they had their bank account frozen.
And that's what essentially,
David,
excuse
yes.
the language, but fucked us.
Ooh.
Who made the decision to do that?
To do what?
To run the business that way?
It's collective. It was.
This is the tail end of the last
myself,
investigation. We'll have
Nick,
new stuff in a
Matt
few
Burks.
minutes.
We all knew what was going on.
Matt Burks.
That's why we were in Dubai so much, because we were trying to push these products live. The problem is we fed the greed too much, not only to the investors, but to the employees. And my back is against the wall.
Oh.
I can't pay Nick and Matt.
And this is where they cut out
because
a
if
lot
I
of stuff.
stopped their payment, then all they had to do
You
was go to
did.
the Fed.
You did,
So I
because you
had to
owed
keep
Nick
them
40
happy,
million.
but I was running out of money. And they didn't care. They just wanted their payment. That was my position.
So you heard of net winners? There you go. He's paying investors. Net winners are profiting from this. Net winners, co-conspirators as well. Here we go. So now we've got the new stuff coming now. So just for my own record.
Why do you think Nick is not facing a criminal complaint right now?
Here we go. Good question, though.
You know, we're the top 10, top 11
Ponzi schemes?
biggest alleged Ponzi scheme in the United
Alleged
States.
Ponzi scheme.
My face was everywhere. I'm the CEO.
Okay.
So I think at first, I'm the target.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm running the company.
Yeah.
You know, all the responsibilities sit with me.
That wouldn't work in your favor, Chris.
And
just
so
saying.
I think in that aspect, this is why other people haven't either got a criminal complaint or an indictment, because the focus was on me, and it worked masterfully to their plan.
Did Nick ever threaten you?
Oh, we have heard this. Sorry, forgot. No, I can't say that. No, he did give me a civil lawsuit for 40 million.
No, there wasn't any threats.
Extortion?
Yeah, no threats on Nick's side. We did go through 2 extortion attempts.
Oh my God, so I have heard this.
Early on. Well, the first one early on, the second one in 2025.
I'm going to have to speed it up until we get to the part where I thought we hadn't doubled up.
And so that was really the only time we had big altercations or big arguments when it came to the business.
Tell me about the extortion.
Okay, we're going to go faster.
So the first one came...
Sorry, guys.
It was either January 23 or January 24. I forget the year. But it was early on into Goliath. Nick receives a random text from a Canadian number. And the gist of the text was basically that they know we're running a fraudulent company. They have a mountain of evidence against us. They're going to report it to every government agency in the United States and in Canada.
I reckon I know who this is. Do you, Susie? I mean, think about it. A Canadian number, an anonymous payment to a mystery wallet address for $2 million. They know everything about the company and they're going to blow it up. It would have to be an insider. I've already heard this, I know. We have got 4 minutes. I have a feeling that this is two back-to-back, 2 different camera angles, but I do want to just finish with this anyway.
And
then we'll do
the
some phone calls.
reason that I wasn't contacted, that they went to Nick, was because I was lawyered up. So it didn't matter if they came after me, because they knew that my attorneys would handle it. And some other things about my ego, and, you know, I felt like I was untouchable. And they went to Nick because they said he's the more reasonable person.
Just duck off to the loop.
And that he had an
Let me know if I'm missing anything.
opportunity to stop everything.
Did he?
No. Nick's text messages read, "What do you want to make this go away?" And they demanded 7 Bitcoin. I told Nick to tell him to go kick rocks, but Nick paid him. And that's when I knew we had a big problem.
So then it happened again last year.
So in September of 25, we were sponsoring this massive conference in Orlando. And we had been part of this organization. They're an entrepreneur organization. We'd been part of them for a while.
This is the one down by...
It was at the Gaylord Palms.
Okay,
yeah. And it was in our backyard. Everyone knew that we were part of this organization, and we've, you know, gone to the Kentucky Derby, to Yankee World Series games.
This is every major player who's anybody is at.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the fact that it's in Orlando, so we knew we had to be the title sponsor, you know, and we knew we wanted to. We were very proud that it was in our hometown, and we wanted to showcase that. And so when the conference started, we would do a big tranche, you know, 5 million to crypto or whatever it might be, but she would have to go to the bank to sit with the banker, to sit on the phone. They can call corporate. Corporate clears the wire. Then she'd sit there and be like, okay, I left the account. Then call me and check, did it hit our crypto accounts today? That kind of thing. It was a very long process because, bankers don't work. They're not on haste.
So the crypto accounts that the money was going to, that was an actual investment account.
That was what I'm saying?
The crypto accounts that it was going to, that was an actual investment account.
There are institutional accounts with Coinbase.
Those were making money?
No, people wanted to get paid in crypto.
Okay.
And so we were using our institutional wallets to pay people in crypto.
Okay.
That was Queen. I love it.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of layers.
Yeah. A lot of layers, and we were facing a lot of challenges, and a lot of challenges that I had never faced before. I've never had banking issues. I've never had frozen accounts. I've never had, and I'm up against the clock too.
How long was the account frozen?
So the only account that was ever froze is our Bank of America account.
Thanks to us.
They actually froze $18 million.
Oops, sorry about
September.
Of 2025.
Yeah. And it was frozen, and we were making no progress with them. They wouldn't tell us why they froze our money. They wouldn't unfreeze it. And we had our October distribution window coming up.
That's it. Well, we did it, guys. We got to the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you. I'm not going to go anywhere. I just want to say thank you so I can cut this off. That was part 3 of the interview. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a stuff up ourselves. And now I realize why Channel 9 removed this video and put it back on again is because they had doubled up in their footage. So that means they must have just got these videos and dumped them online and then watched them, let the world watch them, and then go, oh, we've left people's names in it. And they redacted a lot of information and republished them. 31-minute video went back online on part 3. We just showed you, well, we didn't show you the whole hour 15, but you get the idea on why we did it. That's it. So I'm going to see you guys in the next video. We've got more videos. We've got 2 more videos to watch. My Thursday, my Friday, your Wednesday, your Thursday. But we'll get more videos out there. I'm Danny the Heck and the Avengers. We'll see you in the next video.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Christopher. Thought the spotlight would last forever. Now the whole world's watching. Let's go. Walked in flashing all that gold. Thought the story would never get old. Private jets and designer shoes. Now it's breaking evening news. Selling dreams from stage to stage. Writing promises on every page. Everybody bought the fantasy. Now the truth's on national TV. Ooh, hear those sirens calling. Every diamond know it's falling. Thought the music would never stop. Now the beat goes knock, knock, knock. Every time that courtroom door swings wide, I hear blue lights flashing in my mind. Thought you wrote yourself a masterpiece. Now you're reading guilty pleas. Yeah, the gavel goes bang. Hear the courtroom sing. Yeah, the handcuffs go clink. Makes the whole room think. Ooh, that's the sound they bring. Crypto wallets leave a trail. Blockchains always tell the tale. Every transfer, every coin. Now investigators join. Funny how the heroes hide when the paperwork arrives. Funny how the loudest crowd suddenly ain't talking loud. Ooh, hear those whispers growing. Everybody's nervous knowing what confession starts a chain. Now they're wondering whose name. Every time that courtroom door swings wide, I hear blue lights flashing in my mind. Built an empire on borrowed time. Now you're running out of time. Yeah, the gavel goes bang. Hear the courtroom sing. Yeah, the headlines roll. Taking quite a toll. Ooh, who's the next to fold? No more penthouse celebrations, only legal conversations. No more selfies, no champagne, just another prison train. If the phone stopped ringing now, who'll explain the why and how? Every promise has a cost, every shortcut ends up lost. Hey Christopher, remember all those standing ovations? Now it's all right. Every time that the truth comes out, you can hear the whole room shouting loud. Justice doesn't care about the crowd. Every blockchain sings out loud. Yeah, the gavel goes bang. Hear the echoes ring. Yeah, the truth rolls on.